crowd is going to be asked to stand for a minute of silence to pay tribute to the city officials here in San Francisco who were slain in that tragic event at the City Hall today. Both teams are at the edge of the field. On the scoreboard, it says very simply, the 49ers extend their deepest sympathy and regrets to the families of Mayor George Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk. It says we all share in their sorrow over this tragic event. And now they're asking the crowd to observe a moment of silence. Observed in memory of the late mayor of San Francisco, George Moscone, and the city supervisor, Harvey Milk. And now we're ready for football action at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. And the Steelers will kick off to the 49ers.
How do you like the cuckoos in the crowd?
Oh,
they're observing a moment of silence, and they're, I don't know, a handful of voices out there at the top of their lungs shouting obscenities and whatnot during the moment of silence. But I guess there are proportionately more cuckoos in this town than elsewhere. Is that fair to say?
I wouldn't want to say that, but Myron, if you didn't have them, you'd think the human race was suddenly becoming just too perfect.
Well,
it's just unbelievable.
That's terrible.
Oh, it's terrible. It's absolutely unbelievable, but here it is, particularly in San Francisco. You get that kind of reaction. Paul Holfer is going deep for the 49ers. So you sit here, you're a little bit embarrassed. Crowd of 40,000 or so silent, except for maybe a half dozen nuts to take the occasion to shout into the night air. And that's called freedom of speech. Roy Chirella tees it up and will kick it off for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right to left is the way the kick will carry. Teed up at the Pittsburgh 35-yard line, and here comes Chirella. And he kicks it well, high and long. Hofer at the 2, out over the 5, to the 10, swings right to the 15, the 20, the 25. And he is toppled and brought down at the 25-yard line by Ray Oldham, the new addition to the Pittsburgh Steeler defensive club and also the special teams.
And Hofer slipping by Jack the hydroplane, Delaplane, and Sidney the Thundering Bull Thornton. He went by them to get out to the 25-yard line. Unusual to have your starting halfback as your deep man running back kickoffs. That seems like a lot of work in store for him tonight. The Steelers could be kicking off a lot.
The quarterback is Scott Bull. Hofer and Farrell are the running backs. And they bring a man in short motion, and Bull drops back and fires down the middle, and it's intercepted, picked off at the 50-yard line. Ron Johnson skirting to the far side and brought down at the San Francisco 47-yard line. They had that man in motion, the wide man, and sent him downfield, and they were going for him, and there was Johnson to pick it off, and the Steelers get the first interception of the ball game on the first scrimmage play, and for the rookie, it is his third of the year.
He was throwing for Freddie Solomon over in the middle, but overthrew him by a great deal right to Ron Johnson.
Steelers get the ball at the 49er 47-yard line. Bradshaw hands it off to Harris, starts to the right, cuts back and goes to the 41-yard line. There's a bit of an answer to the situation as Ed Bradley, the former Steeler, is in on the defensive play at the 41-yard line and a gain of 6 yards for the Steelers. Reese, Webb, Gallagher, Hardman up front. Harris, Bunce, Bradley, the linebackers. Robertson, Lewis on the corners. Jury and Christ are the safeties. Steelers at the 41-yard line. It is second down and 4 yards to go. Stallworth to the left. Swann, the flanker, to the right side. The quarterback is Bradshaw, and again it's to Harris. Angles left, comes over the 40, breaks the tackle, the 35, the 30 to the outside, the 25, and out of bounds on the near side of the field as the play is made by Bob Jury. John Stallworth threw a key block for Franco Harris as he brought the ball down from the 41-yard line to the San Francisco 25.
Oh, nice running by the Franco on 2 straight plays as he peeled to his left. He slipped around Chuck Christie, ex-Penn State basketball player, choked Chuck Christie's feet, and carried it down to the 25 for a first down.
Swann to the right and Stallworth to the left. Bradshaw calling the signals. Bleier and Harris are in the backfield. Bradshaw sets his club, gives the ball to Rocky, big hole through the middle of the 20 to 15 and straight down to the 12-yard line. Rocky Bleier had the big hole up the middle, and again jury figured on the defensive play as it picks up a first down, and Rocky goes to the 12.
Ooh, hard chance, don't put them back to fundamentals. Ed Gallagher, the defensive tackle, is playing right over Mike Webster's nose. Mike is blowing him out of there, and Rocky sweeping up the middle. You could have drove a truck through it.
Now they've moved Jimmy Webb right over his nose now. They'll try something else. Bradshaw has them lined up on first down 10 at the San Francisco 12, and the give is to Harris, and he's in trouble this time. So they changed the defense just a little bit, and this time Webb was there along with Ed Bradley, the linebacker, and they made the play on Franco Harris at the 12-yard line. No gain on the play. Steve Corson is in that offensive line in place of Jerry Mullins. He's a first-year man from South Carolina. So a couple of youngsters on the right side in Corson and Penny, but Penny has picked up a lot of experience. Bleier steps into a close slot on the left side. And the give is to Franco, and he's tripped up as he slashes into the middle, goes down at the 11-yard line. They were ready and waiting, and again Jimmy Webb was there with Ed Gallagher. And Franco Harris goes down at the 11-yard line. And on comes an extra linebacker, Mark Nichols, for San Francisco to replace Ed Gallagher. And on this obvious passing situation, they'll go into the 33.
And that was just a nice play by Jimmy Webb, the 4-year man out of Mississippi State. Not a real big tackle, tall, 6'5", but only 234 on the list.
Pittsburgh sends Swann to the right, putting Stallworth in the slot. Swann will be picked up by Robertson. And a flag at the snap. We get a whistle down on the field, illegal procedure against the Steelers. And that will be a 5-yard mark-off from the 11 back to the 16-yard line.
And we've got no score early in the first period. The Steelers getting the football when Scott Poole's very first pass of the ball game was intercepted by Ron Johnson at midfield, and the Steelers took over the ball at the 49ers' 47. Moving it on the ground, they've now moved to the 16. That is the penalty taking them back to there.
Coach of the Steelers, Chuck Noll, looking out without a smile, pondering the situation. Slot man to the right side is Stallworth. Bradshaw backing up here. They come. He steps forward. They got him in the arm. They got him at the 25-yard line. Blitzing that time was Mark Nichols, the extra linebacker. And they came at Bradshaw and got him at the 25-yard line. And Jarrella will come on.
Archie Reese, a huge rookie, 260-some pounds, grabbed Bradshaw by the throwing arm. He might have gotten away otherwise, but he couldn't get that arm up and finally went down.
From the 32-yard line, Jarrella will give it a 42-yard attempt straight down the middle. Craig Colkman is the holder. Ball is down. Jarrella kicks it long enough. High enough, it is good. Jarrella, a 42-yard field goal, and the Steelers take a 3-0 lead. We'll be right back.
So Roy Jarrella, who only the other day was saying, yes, he's having a bad season, and who was saying that something he wouldn't identify, it seems to be distracting him. I wonder if he's negotiating a new contract. But Roy Jarrella has come through here in the opening minutes with a good-sized field goal of 42 yards, and the Steelers lead the 49ers 3-0. And Ron Johnson's interception set it up.
Oprah's deep. Williams and Boykin are wide. Down deep for San Francisco. Here comes Jarrella right to left. Very high. A little shorter than the last time. Hofer at the 5, to the 10, to the right, at the 15, the 20, driving to the 24-yard line. And Hofer again brought down by Ray Oldham, a young man who came from the Baltimore organization. He had been released over there. He had been down and had a tryout down south. Said to us the other day that he could not understand what was happening at Baltimore. It had been a team where everybody was for the club, and now it seemed to be more individuals. But he's happy to be a part of this organization in Pittsburgh.
He's a fiery guy. He makes the tackle. He runs off the field shaking his fist in the air. He's getting a big kick out of that play.
Got that great enthusiasm and Tennessee accent of your old friend Johnny Majors.
Oh.
Sounds a lot like him, but he talks. All right, here they come. Bull on the draw, hands it off. They got a man moving with the football over the left side. The carrier, Paul Hoper. Lauren Taves in there, and Joe Green teaming up to make the stop at the 28.5-yard line, a gain of 3.5 yards. L.C. Greenwood, Joe Green, Steve Burness, and John Banaszak in the front four. Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, and Lauren Taves are the linebackers. Taves back in there tonight. Johnson and Blunt on the corners. Wagner and Shell are the safeties. San Francisco, second down, 6.5, moving left to right, trailing 3-0. Wideouts both ways. Scott Bull, the quarterback, third-year man from Arkansas, handing it off, and here they come again, a dive over the right side. Bob Farrell is the ball carrier. Across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And Farrell, the 3-year veteran from UCLA, racked up by Joe Green and Jack Lambert.
And a nice play by Jack Splatt. He had a play off a block to get to the ball carrier. Incidentally, with John Banaszak in there at right defensive end, can you conclude that he is now the first-string right defensive end? Dwight White was held out of last week's game so he could get over some bumps and bruises, had a tender knee, but he is well-rested now, but Banaszak is in there as the starter.
Steve Knutson comes into the guard place to bring the play. They'll run out of the I formation. Quick pitch to the tailback and ripping over the right side. Here comes Hoper up over the 35 and out to the 38-yard line. Paul Hoper stopped by Jack Lambert and Mike Wagner. And the first down for San Francisco.
Well, I'll tell you that Paul Hoper, as Chaz Knoll said on his pregame show, does indeed run hard and slash. He ran over Mike Wagner that time, and Mike, prone on his back, looked up as if to say, "What hit me?"
They've just brought Mike Schumann, a rookie from Florida State, in. Ken McAfee is the tight end, and they send Ken Harrison wide to the left. So they're running with two ends. No, they put an extra back in the backfield. They've got two ends tight, and they bring that man in motion out of the backfield and hand it off for a straight-ahead drive, and that's Hoper up to the 40-yard line. They put Schumann in the tailback post in a full house tee and brought him in quick motion. Steve Burness and Jack Lambert stopped Hoper on the handout at the 40-yard line, and he picks up 2 yards. Second down and 8. Looking around, crowd building here at Candlestick, so a good turnout, fine weather. Freddie Solomon in short motion from wide right. Back goes Scott Bull, firing on the near side and going for Bob Farrell down near the Steeler 40-yard line, overthrew him. Jack Ham over to cover with Ron Johnson. And the pass was impossible to catch as it came over the sideline. And Bull just laid it up on a sideline move by Freddie Solomon, who's the fourth-year wide receiver from Tampa.
And if you're wondering who Bob Farrell is, the guy who just was the intended receiver and is a starting running back, he once played for the California Sun. He was a second stringer at UCLA. In a moment, I'll tell you why, but let's get back to the action.
Burness out. Dennis Winston is fourth linebacker for the Steelers. San Francisco out of the I. The give to the top of the I. Here comes Hoper with a flag down off the left side. Nailed at the 40 and brought down. Lauren Taves reacted to the play to make the initial hit, aided by Jack Lambert on the stop at the 40-yard line. Leaned forward across the 40 to almost the 41-yard line. And we get the preliminary signal, illegal motion against San Francisco. Will be declined by the Steelers. They're looking at 4th down and 7. And that will be punt formation as Mike Connell, a native of Sharon, Pennsylvania, a rookie from Cincinnati. He was a national finalist in the punt, pass, and kick competition. Stands at the 26-yard line of the 49ers. T-Bell and Jim Smith downfield. For the Steelers, the punt will carry left to right. Mike Connell standing at his own 26-yard line. Snap, and he gets it away. Rather wobbly. Under it goes Jim Smith, running to his left, and then nailed. Cut it about the 23, gave a little ground to the 22, running to the left, and then tried to cut back in the opposite direction, and found the 49ers ready and waiting as the stop was made by Bob Jury and Greg Boykin. Steelers football continues after this timeout.
Well, as Jack Fleming has told you, Steve Corson has been in that Steeler offensive line. I guess they're resting Moon Mullins because he suffered a hyperextended elbow in the last game. The Steelers are leading the 49ers here 3-0 as they take over the football at their own 22.
Steelers moving right to left. Bradshaw, the quarterback, wideouts both ways. Harris and Bleier in the backfield, and the handoff goes to Bleier, hitting off the right side, and he comes up to the 25-yard line. Rocky Bleier, the ball carrier, the stop made by Joe Harris, the linebacker. They still go with Reese, Webb, Gallagher, and Hardman in the front four. Harris, Buns, Bradley, the linebackers, Robertson and Lewis on the corners. Jury and Christ are the safeties. It will be 2nd down 7.
Nice block by Sam Davis on the left tackle, but the play good for only the 3 yards.
Stallworth wide left, Swann set up to the right. Tight end is Randy Grossman in a strong right formation for the Steelers at their own 25, and here's Bradshaw going back. Bradshaw fires to the far side, and there is Swann at the 37-yard line, and he's thrown all the way back inside the 30, and they're going to call it the 33. Ruling apparently that he gave a little ground as he was attacked and brought down over there by Joe Harris, the linebacker, and Vern Robertson, the cornerback, coming up. Mark it at the 33 and a first down.
And so that is Bradshaw's first pass, and the completion gives Swann his first catch in 3 games. It's not as bad as it sounds. In other words, he got shut out last week. He hasn't caught one since 2 games ago, so this is his first catch in 3 games.
His 50th of the season.
One more, and he's had his all-time high, Jack.
He's right there. The give to Franco. Running left, cutting back to the right. Coming over the 35 and up to the 40-yard line. Harris made that slick move as he headed left, cut back to the right, and ran into the arms of Archie Reese, the big rookie from Clemson, the defensive end. They will mark the ball at the 39-yard line and give Franco a gain of 5.5 yards. 2nd down, 4.5 to go. Steelers come out of the huddle. They lead 3-0. First quarter of the ball game. Clock turning, 6:45 to play in this period at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Terry Bradshaw to Bleier. Bleier finds the opening just off the left side, swings right over the 45, and comes up to the 47.5-yard line. Bob Jury down at the bottom of the play with Joe Harris for the 49ers. And the officials spotted back to the 47. That will be the 4th first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the ball carrier was Bleier.
And do you suppose Noel is giving us the answer to that question we discussed before the game? He's saying, I'm going to run the ball and get the running game going.
But he said to himself, those 2 boobs up there are wondering whether we're going to run it or throw it.
Yeah.
First down 10, the give to Bleier, and he is hit, actually diving over a big pileup as the Steelers had managed to get Jimmy Webb down on the turf, and Bleier found himself at a roadblock and just simply dived over them to the 49-yard line. He'll pick up 2 yards on the play. And on comes Mark Nichols as an extra linebacker for the 49ers.
And on 2nd and 8 here, can Noel and Bradshaw resist the delicacies of that San Francisco secondary? I think not.
Jimmy Webb comes out, and they go into a 3-down lineman defense, pulling backers up on each side, and then stunning with another backer, and the pitch out to the right side. And Harris with the ball gets a block from Bleier, then goes outside and is caught and brought down. Harris cornered by Joe Harris and Ed Bradley at the San Francisco 49.5-yard line. Short gain, 3rd down, and a short 7 to go. And that name, Ed Bradley, brings back memory.
You betcha. And Chaz did resist the delicacies of the secondary, did he not? He ran the football.
Correct me on the histories. Bradley went to Seattle in the expansion and then was traded down to San Francisco.
Exactly.
Good linebacker from Wake Forest. It is 3rd down, 6.5 yards to go, just over midfield in San Francisco territory. Bradshaw's back, and here they all come. Bradshaw fires it down the field and is picked off at the 35, the 40, up over the 45, the 50, and out of bounds at the far side. Chuck Christ. He was going for Randy Grossman, the tight end. Slightly underthrown, and Christ came around Grossman and picked it off, brought it back over midfield, and to the far side, was chased out of bounds around the Steeler 41-yard line. An interception. We'll be right back.
So Chuck Christ, the ex-Penn Stater, gets his 5th interception of the season. He was not covering Grossman downfield, going downfield. He was simply back there playing center field and playing the interception as another man covered Grossman. He picks it off. It is Bradshaw's 8th interception in 3 ball games. So, let's hope that it does not get to Terry and undermine his confidence here.
Gary Dunn replacing Steve Furness in the defensive line. San Francisco running out of the eye with Paul Hoper at the top of the eye, and a pitch goes to Hoper. Here he comes with blockers over the right side of the 40 and down to the 35-yard line. Down at the bottom of the play, Wagner, along with Gary Dunn, picks up about 6 yards on the carry. Over the right side of the line, they have Steve Knutson playing at left guard. Ayers, Knutson, Quillen, Downing, and Fonhorst, the interior lineman. Ken McAfee, the tight end. Harrison and Solomon are the wide receivers. Harrison goes to the left, and Solomon is in a wide slot to the left side. Running backs, Hoper and Farrell. Quarterback is Scott Bull. Here's Bull handing it off and running to the right, and nailed is Bob Farrell. Jack Ham had him. He was struggling. So the ball is parked at the 35.5-yard line. We'll be back after this pause on the Steelers Football Network.
WVAM-FM Altoona, Country FM 100, your exclusive Steeler football station.
Ken McAfee, the Notre Damer, the 49ers' big draft choice. The tight end is down on the field. He had gotten up, Lou Craig tells me, was limping and then collapsed. And he, of course, was some kind of ball player at Notre Dame. He was the 7th player selected in a draft. He's a dental student. They tell me he's a pianist, he's an artist, he's a very accomplished photographer. He says art keeps the fingers loose and agile, helps you catch passes. He's caught 22 this year and done pretty well for a rookie. Now they've got him up. They've got Ken McAfee up, and they're helping him off the field. He's limping badly. The Steelers leading 3-0. The 49ers threatening, still in the first period.
Replay shows he was down, and in the other action, 2 or 3 players came over, and Gary Dunn fell on his leg when he was down. All right, Paul Seal replaces McAfee. Strong left formation. Out of the eye. Play action fake. Bull is back there, almost caught, that he has time. Throws down to the 27. The pass pulled in by Seal. Out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Firing through there, you thought they were going to get Bull, but they didn't. And he hit Paul Seal, and Donnie Shell made the stop at the Steeler 23-yard line.
Well, the Steelers had Jack Ham blitzing from the left side, but he was picked up by a blocker, and then Seal came across to that left side and took the pass without anybody on him. Shell coming over to chase him out.
San Francisco ready to go. First down 10 in Steeler territory. Pittsburgh leading 3-0. Ball hands it off. Here comes Hoper. And he meets the stone wall. He'd get a yard or two. Stops shy of the 20-yard line with Jack Lambert right in the middle to make the defensive play for the Steelers. Mark the ball at the 21-yard line. Gain of a yard and a half. Second down. 8.5 yards to go for the 49ers. Freddie Solomon comes off. Harrison is wide to the left. Mike Schumann is wide to the right. Scott Bull hands it off, and ripping off the left side, Bob Farrell drives inside the 20, goes down inside the 16-yard line, with Jack Lambert making the tackle. As the 49ers offensive line rips into that Steeler defense and opens up the holes for a couple of running backs unheard of who look extremely good tonight, Hoper and Farrell. It will be 3rd down and 3.
Well, Farrell banged off Joe Green, who came up to meet him. He just banged off Joe and picked up a little yardage.
They move left to right. We're very late in the first quarter. Scott Bull gives the ball to Hoper, and he drives through like a bullet inside the 15 to the 14, the 13.5. He is shy of a first down. Joe Green, John Benizak, and Jack Lambert stop the play. Now decision time for the 49ers. Will they bring on Ray Wersching to kick the field goal? They need about a yard, and Wersching is coming on, and the crowd is booing. But everything in the book says, get the 3 and tie it up.
Jack, would you say the crowd is worshing he'd go for it?
Yeah, they would like very much for him to do that. Got Bull, the holder, at the 21-yard line, Wershing a 31-yard attempt at the goalpost to our right. The ball is down, and Wershing kicks it. And it is no good. He hooks it off to the left side. And Pittsburgh will take over the football.
Well, there was a high snap on that play, and that may have thrown Wershing off his mark. That can do it. So the Steelers get a break there, and they get the ball at their 20-yard line. They lead the 49ers 3-0. We've got a minute and 21 seconds remaining in the first period. The Steelers now with the ball. They're going for the win tonight. That'll put them in the playoffs at least as a wild card team.
Johnny Stallworth is in the slot to the right side. Bradshaw is looking for Swann, and he finds him on the far side of the field at the 34-yard line, right at the side of the field. Immediately over there is Eddie Lewis, but too late, and Lynn Swann has picked up a first down on the reception from Terry Bradshaw. For Swann, his 51st catch of the year.
That's a career high for Lynn Swann, the most he's ever caught in one season. He, however, has fallen pretty well behind Seattle. Steve Largent is in the race for the wide receiver pass-catching championship. It's 57-41 with Largent in the lead right now.
Bradshaw brings them up to the line of scrimmage at the 34-yard line. He was going to hand it off. It looks like a broken play, and he gallops for the sideline, swinging to the right, goes out of bounds at the 35. Looked as though he wanted to hand it off, and nobody was there. Franco Harris would have been the intended receiver of the handoff. So Bradshaw just took off with the 49ers in pursuit and galloped out of bounds on the far side of the field at the 35, picked up a yard on the carry. 2nd down and 9. In San Francisco, where the temperature is moderate in the 50s tonight. Myron, I flew out of Pittsburgh this morning, and it looked like Alaska for the first time this year.
It snowed, did it not?
But it was raining later today. It snowed.
Wipe it away before I get home.
Strong right formation. Bradshaw is the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He goes straight back. Swing pass right side. Franco over the 35, the 40. He's running. He's to the 45 and goes down at the 46. Jimmy Webb made the tackle for the 49ers, and Harris has a first down as they hit him in the right flat area, and he carried to the 46-yard line.
And you had Steve Corson, who, as we told you, was in that offensive line tonight for Moon Mullins, taking the linebacker, Joe Harris, out of the play on the far side to enable the swing pass to cut up inside and make the yardage out to the 46-yard line or make it the 47.
Clock turning with 36 seconds to play in the first quarter. First down 10. Bradshaw sets the Steelers. And the give is to Bleier. Flag down as Bleier rips just off the right side over the 50 to the San Francisco 48. And it looks like we got a call against the Steelers. Holding. And that one will hurt.
You know, Franco's got something in the works here tonight. He needs 69 yards to pass Larry Zonka and become the number 6 ranking man on the all-time National Football League ground gaining list, rushing list, if you will. So far in 6 carries, he's got 31 yards, so he's almost halfway to those 69 yards that he needs.
10-yard mark off back to the 36, first down and 20 yards to go for the Steelers. Bleier's in the close slot on the left side. Wideouts both ways with Franco the single setback, and on a draw to give to Franco, swings left. He's cornered, stiff arms the tackler, comes to 40 and is knocked out of bounds. It was Ed Bradley trying to get Franco Harris, and he stiff-armed him, and then finally the secondary and the linebackers reacted and overcame Dan Bunz along with Eddie Lewis, the cornerback, and chased him out at the 40. A gain of 4 yards.
The 49ers very frequently tonight are in what you might call a nose guard defense with the tackle right over Mike Webster's nose there, center Mike Webster, and big gaps to either side of him. So if Webster blows him out, you have a good chance of shooting through there, which the Steelers have done from time to time.
Stallworth left, Swann right. Bleier and Harris in the backfield. Here's a quick screen throw out to the right side. To Swann, takes it. He's over the 40 to 43. Breaks loose, goes to 45, and then is thrown back solidly. Swann on a flanker screen to the right side. got to the 45-yard line, and then he was belted solidly by the linebacker, Dan Buns. And back he came. Mark it at the 45. That's the end of the first quarter with a score. Pittsburgh 3, San Francisco 0.
The Steelers threw all with some frequency in the first quarter. They actually threw 5 times, Bradshaw did, and completed 4 and threw 1 interception, but most of those passes were little bitty passes. And again, we were talking before about the weakness in the San Francisco secondary, but I would suppose you could say that for the most part in that first quarter, the Steelers nonetheless decided to get their ground game going and tune it up for Houston to get it back in stride. Franco in with 35 yards unofficially, and Rocky with 26. Rocky carrying the ball 4 times for those 26 yards, a nice average of better than 4 yards a carry, and Franco averaging a neat 5 yards a carry.
Fleming and Cope at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Wide set in the backfield. Maximum protection for Bradshaw. He has time, and he fires, and over on the far side, curling to the outside. Stallworth takes it at the 39-yard line for a first down. Johnny Stallworth curling to the outside, getting away from Eddie Lewis, the cornerback, and he picks it off. That is the 8th first down of the night for the Steelers. They have completed 5 out of 6 passes, 1 interception, and Stallworth gets his first catch of the night. Johnny Stallworth has now caught 33 passes, came in with 5 touchdown catches, and is now in with better than 630 yards on the season. First down 10. Bradshaw back to throw again, right down the middle. There's Randy at the 30, and he fights his way to the 26. Randy Grossman caught it straight down the middle, and he was brought down by Dan Buns, the middle linebacker, right at the bottom of the play at the 26-yard line. Another first down.
Oh, Randy was wide open. He just ran down there, stopped, said, "Here I am, throw it to me, Terry," and Terry did indeed, and so the Steelers are at the 26-yard line.
Grossman getting his 29th catch of the season. Stallworth to the left, to the far side. Bleier in the close slot on the near side. Swann wide right. Franco, the single setback, to give to Franco, and he plows a little bit off the left side. Goes to the 18, maybe the 17 down under the pileup. San Francisco will give him either 3 or 4 yards on the play. And as they pick themselves up, the linebacker is down at the bottom, Ed Bradley. Mark it at the 22.5-yard line. A gain of 3 yards, second down and 7.
There really wasn't much there, but Franco just put his nose in and ground away till he got 3 yards out of it.
Mike Webster goes over the ball. Steve Corson and Ray Pinney to his right. Sam Davis and John Kolb to his left. Here's Bradshaw going for the end zone. Overthrown. Swann made a move to the outside at the 5-yard line, and Bradshaw threw for the end zone. There would appear to be a cross up there. Pass incomplete. So back it comes to the 22.5-yard line. Third down and a short 7.
Terry now 6 for 8 with 1 interception.
They bring Ed Gallagher off, and they come on with the extra linebacker, Mark Nichols. 3-0 in favor of the Steelers, and Pittsburgh is back in San Francisco territory at the 22.5-yard line. Bradshaw sets the Steelers in a strong right formation. Bradshaw's back and would like to pass again, and he goes for the end zone, and there it is, caught by Lynn Swann for the touchdown. Wide open in the end zone. Swann took it all the way to the wall. Well inside of Vern Robertson. Well inside of Bob Jury. Laid right on the money. Officially, a 22-yard touchdown strike.
Yes, indeed. Vern Robertson was picking Swann up, but he did a number on him, and then Chuck Chris came over to help, but much too late. Swann just taking the pass wide open in the end zone.
53rd catch of the season, his 10th touchdown catch. Girella goes for the point after. Cope with holding. Girella kicks it. It is good. The Steelers lead 10-0. We'll be right back.
So the Steelers drive 80 yards after Ray Wershing had missed on a field goal attempt for San Francisco, Terry Bradshaw, filling the air with passes at one point in a drive, throwing the ball 3 straight times and connecting on all 3. Then fulfilling the drive by nicely lofting the ball 22 yards to Lynn Swann, who caught it on the run, almost ran into a wall, or perhaps did, down well behind the end zone. But I guess he's okay. And the Steelers are now out in front of the 49ers, 10-0, as Roy Girella tees up the ball to kick off. Early in the second quarter, 10-0.
Girella kicking it off, left to right. And it is coming down the far side and out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Chased down by Greg Boykin. Penalty marker goes down. The Steelers will be penalized 5 yards. And the kickoff will come from the 30-yard line.
One thing I guess they don't want to do tonight is kick that ball to Davey Williams, who last week, for example, ran one back 89 yards against the Rams. So far, they've kicked off twice of the Steelers, and both times to Paul Hofer. And I believe they do want to keep the ball away from Williams, who is on the left-hand side among the 3 deep men down there for the kickoff. But Roy Girella will now be penalized and will be kicking off from the 30-yard line. So, of course, Williams, Hofer, and who is the other deep man? 33 would be Greg Boykin, move up accordingly.
Well, the big boo in the background was for the nationally adored voice of ABC, who is bringing radio back on Monday nights. Strong. Here is Girella kicking off. And he hooks it this time, and it's going to go out of bounds again with Boykin right over it. He touched it, they say, at the 17-yard line. Huh. Now that is a strange bit of event. Boykin, in following the football, bounced up and touched him on the face mask and then went out of bounds.
Yeah, you might say out of nose as we see the replay. The dumb cop should have got out of there. He kept pursuing that football, following it like it was a dear friend as it was going out of bounds.
But you've got to pursue it because you don't know what's coming down on top of you, and a Steeler could get on it and have it, see?
Right, good point.
So he got a bad bounce. Okay, they run out of the eye now from their own 17-yard line, and Scott Bull rolling left. Here he comes. He's in trouble. He breaks loose up over the 15, the 20, and hit from behind and brought down at the 23-yard line. L.C. Greenwood got to him. Caught him from behind. Make it the 24-yard line. Scott Bull was in trouble and could have been thrown for a sizable loss, but he was equal to the task and brought the ball upfield 7.5 yards. Second down, 2.5 yards to go. Ken Harrison to the left and Mike Schumann to the right. Scott Bull hands it off, and they try the left side. And they send Bob Farrell up to the 27-yard line. He may have a first down. Steve Furness at the bottom of the play. Steelers with Greenwood, Green, Furness, and Banaszak up front. Ham, Lambert, and Caves the linebackers. Johnson and Blunt on the corners. Wagner and Schell are the safeties. They'll take time to measure, but it would appear that the young man has picked up the yardage he needed. Maybe not. Inches. Third down and inches. Freddie Solomon comes back on the field. They've got one tight end hurt, Ken McAfee. So they've got to adjust if they want to go with two tights. Bull gives them the play. They're going to send their wideouts into regular position, both ways. Solomon to the right and Harrison to the left. Running backs, Hofer and Farrell. And Bull keeping and plowing ahead and getting, undoubtedly, the inches he needed up to the 33-yard line. Banaszak and Green at the bottom of the play. San Francisco gets its third first down.
Chuck Noll tonight is alternating Gary Dunn and Steve Furness at right tackle. And I suppose if you were a San Francisco offensive lineman, it might be a little discouraging to look up and see a fresh horse in there opposite you. And it may be some advantage to the Steelers, I don't know.
McAfee's handling a phone down on the sidelines, has an ice bag on his left knee. Put a man in the slot left, and here is Bull throwing to the far side, and it is caught out of bounds, incomplete. He went to Solomon. Solomon was belted by Ron Johnson, and the play is ruled out of bounds. They've completed 1 of 4 passes with 1 intercepted by Ron Johnson. It is 2nd down 10. They bring Knutson back in. Solomon coming out. Ernie Hughes comes out, the rookie from Notre Dame. Lauren Taves goes out, and Tony Dungy becomes a 5th defensive back for the Steelers. San Francisco on 2nd and 10. At its own 28-yard line, out of the I formation. Bull. Handing off. And straight up the middle. Over the 30 to the 32-yard line. Paul Hofer, the ball carrier. Jack Lambert and Donnie Shell make the stop. And Myron, he's got quickness, the young man from Ole Miss.
Yes, he does, and he cuts back against the grain very well. He headed to his right and then cut to his left. And, wow, he was through there very quickly.
Furness and Dungy out. That brings Taves back along with Dirk Winston. 4 linebackers now with 3 down linemen. Greenwood, Green, and Banaszak up front. 3rd down and 5 for San Francisco. They put Hofer in the slot to the left side. Farrell is the single setback. Bull is back. And he gets it away under pressure. Throws to nobody as L.C. Greenwood came in on him with the arms up high. That's reminiscent of the Super Bowl years.
Oh, I'll tell you, sure, that's what he did to Francis Tarkenton. The only difference being that Francis was running over there and enabling L.C. to travel less distance to do it. This time, though, he was coming up the middle, and he made it very difficult for Bull to see, let alone throw.
Mike Connell standing at his own 18-yard line. Downfield, T. Bell and Jim Smith for the Steelers. Punt will carry right to left. Steelers jockeying on defense. Snap is a little high, but he gets away a high, booming punt. T-Bell under it at the 25-yard line. Coming forward to the 30 and is spilled at the 34-yard line. A 43-yard punt. And the return by T-Bell of 9 yards. Steelers football continues after this timeout.
49ers 10-0 with 10 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the second period. Roy Girella having kicked a 42-yard field goal and Terry Bradshaw hitting a 22-yard touchdown pass to Swann. And here go the Steelers at their 35.
Stallworth wide left, or rather Swann wide. No, Stallworth wide left, Swann in the slot. Now they bring Bleier into a wide flanker position and give it to Franco straight up the middle. And he comes to the 38-yard line. Franco Harris brought down by Joe Harris, the left side linebacker. So they put the slot man to the left and then shifted Bleier to a wide flanker position to the right, giving them a wide double wing look. Franco going off for some kind of attention, and that brings that's going to bring Rick Moser on, the rookie from Rhode Island. See if we can get the glasses on Harris.
Yeah, I've got him on, Jack. I cannot tell yet what it is.
2nd down. Bradshaw's back. Straight down the middle to Grossman. He's at the 48. Running to his right. He's trapped, and he's going to go down at the 48-yard line. Grossman caught by the ankle by Mark Nichols, the linebacker, and he could not get loose, struggling as hard as he could. That is the 10th pass thrown, 8 completed, and Randy Grossman getting his 2nd catch of the night, and the Steelers their 11th first down.
Ralph Berlin is over there talking to Franco, kneeling alongside of him. Maybe he's asking him what day of the week is it, Franco. He might have had his bell rung. I don't know. They're not treating anything.
Have Bleier in the slot to the right to give the ball to Moser, the big rookie hitting off right tackle, coming up over the 50 and edges into San Francisco territory. So Moser crosses the 50-yard line barely, and the stop is made by Archie Reese. They've been running away from Cedric Hardman all night, trying to stay clear of him.
And right now they're back to their ground game.
Second down and 7 yards to go. The Steelers leading 10-0 over the San Francisco 49ers. 8:43 on the turning clock in the second quarter. Slot man to the left, and Bleier comes right as a flanker. Wide double wing formation for the Steelers. Quick pitch to Mosier. Mosier coming off the right side, over the 50, down to the 45, and onto the 43-yard line. As he was bumped by Joe Harris. Came down over top of Bob Jury, and they are shy of a first down by about a yard.
And trainer Ralph Lynn had his hand up Franco's right sleeve, apparently working on his shoulder. Perhaps that's what it is. Franco seems in some kind of pain.
Sidney Thornton comes in to replace Rick Mosier in the backfield. Or did he? Nope, he didn't. I saw him. Oh, yeah, he's set up as the wingback. Mosier stays in. And they hit in there in the short yardage formation. Flags go down. So they left Mosier in, and Thornton came in to replace a wideout as they brought an extra guard in, Ted Peterson. Now the wideouts come back. We're going to pause for station identification.
You're listening to Steeler Football 78 on WVAM-FM, Altoona, Country FM 100.
San Francisco was offside, and the Steelers get the first down on the penalty. Ball moves to the 38-yard line, first down 10. Swann and Stallworth are back. Grossman, the tight end, in a strong left formation. Running backs are Mosier and Bleier. Bradshaw drops back. They're coming after him, and he fires downfield. Almost picked off, going for Swann at the 26-yard line. And coming across, Chuck Crisp made a dive for his second interception of the night. Unsuccessfully. They had a good rush on Bradshaw that time, and somebody was using a lot of hands protecting him.
Well, Robertson was covering him, but Chris is the free safety, and he just roams around back there looking for an opportunity to pick off a pass. He did pick off one of Bradshaw's tonight. Bradshaw is now 8 for 11 with one interception.
Second down 10 at the San Francisco 38 with Pittsburgh leading 10-0. Bradshaw sets the club. Hands it off to Bleier. Bleier angling off the right side, crosses the 35, goes to the 34-yard line. Down underneath the play. Linebacker Dan Buns getting up down there. Archie Reese, the rookie defensive lineman. The ball is just inside the 35. It's going to be third down now and 7 yards to go for the Steelers.
And by the way, Jack, this AstroTurf here at Candlestick is set by Georgie Porgy Allen to be the hardest surface in the league. O.J. Simpson calls it Candlestone Park. So when those guys go down, I guess they're saying, ouch.
Mike Webster goes over the football for the Steelers. Strong left formation. Grossman, the tight end. Wide both ways. Stunning to the linebackers. They're coming after him in a blitz. Bradshaw gets rid of the football, and Swann takes it at the 14-yard line, and then he is caught by the head and thrown by Vern Robertson. We'll kick that one around a while tonight, won't we? They had the blitz coming at Bradshaw. He unloaded to Swann, and Swann made a brilliant move to catch it, and then was hit by Robertson and knocked down at the 14.
And that was the old Pitt Panther, Bob Jury, coming with the safety blitz. They had a linebacker blitzing as well, but on the delayed safety blitz, here came Jury, and Bradshaw got rid of it in the nick of time and then took Jury down his throat.
Swann has 5 catches on the night, 54 on the season. The San Francisco 14. San Francisco jumps. Now let's get the ruling. They were pulled off by the Steelers. Illegal procedure will take the ball back to the 19-yard line. 5 yards.
So it'll be first down and 15 at the 19-yard line. And I would suppose that Bradshaw will not let up on the passing game in as much as he's completed 9 out of 12, and the San Francisco secondary is looking pretty much as advertised. That is the particular area that Dan Radakovich is working on since coming back to the 49ers, the secondary.
Ed Gallagher out, Mark Nichols in as a fourth linebacker for the 49ers. First down 15 at the 19-yard line. Bradshaw wanted to hand it off, but Bleier stumbled, and Bradshaw had to keep it rolled out. Rocky lost his footing as he went for the handoff coming forward, and Bradshaw had to keep it, and they were on him like a blanket. Cedric Hardman was there, along with Dan Bunz, back to the 24-yard line, a 5-yard loss, and Bleier lost his footing.
Yes, he did indeed, and so he never did get to the handoff, and Terry saw that he was just going to have to go it himself, and he then slipped and fell, got up, and was quickly put down, so we're one play away from Roy Boy Girella having to come on to try another field goal.
Bleier goes into the slot close on the left side. Mosier in the backfield. The give to Mosier through the middle and down to the 20-yard line. Rick Mosier, the rookie from Rhode Island, playing in place of the injured Franco Harris. And the tackle made by Archie Reese at the 20-yard line. And the Steelers have third down and 16 yards to go.
Oh, third down. I correct myself then. I had thought that was third down coming up when I said that Girella would be coming on.
Gallagher coming back in. Wonder Mons, a former Steeler. And there's an extra defensive back. Bradshaw at the 20-yard line, calling the signals for the Steelers. Now there's too much time. Bradshaw taking too much time in sizing up that San Francisco defense and apparently going to an audible. That takes it back to the 25, another 5-yard penalty.
And apparently also trying to set the rookie Mosier, Rick Mosier, in a proper position in the backfield. He turned and pointed to him, and Mosier moved. By that time, the whistle had blown, so they are back to the 25-yard line now.
4:47 to play in the first half. Pittsburgh leading 10-0. Bradshaw's now at the 25. He's back there. They're looking for him, and he throws. And there's Swann for a touchdown at the goal. Swann was a step away from Bob Jury, who wound up down on the turf. And the rookie from Pitt is getting a lesson from the veteran receiver from Southern California, who gets his second touchdown catch of the night. The Steelers go on the board with another TD.
And all these Swans in the stands undoubtedly go crazy because this is Lynn Swann's hometown, his home territory, and he left Robertson and the 49ers in their defense, I would presume, intend for Chris to pick him up, but he wasn't able to get over there. I mean, Shorey, rather. And so it's a nice TD pass for Terry again.
Girella goes for the point after. It is up there, and it is good. Steelers move out to a 17-0 lead, and Steelers football continues after this timeout.
So Terry Bradshaw, with his 2 touchdown tosses tonight to Lynn Swann, now has 21 touchdown passes this season and has tied a Steeler record set by Ed Brown, quarterback Ed Brown, back in 1963. What's all the hollering about? Tell me. Oh, a sign is hung up in the stands that says, "Blame Joe Thomas." He, of course, is the beloved general manager.
This time it's sailing downfield, caught at the 15. Then it come back over the 20, the 25, the 30, the 35-yard line. They are trying to keep that ball away from Williams. No question about it whatsoever. And that one was fielded by Mark Nichols, the linebacker. Rick Moser made the tackle on him at the 35-yard line. First down 10.
Well, I suppose you can keep it away that way, kicking the ball short, not going for all the distance you'd like because you don't particularly fear the San Francisco offense. So you give them a little field position, so what?
Freddie Solomon to the right and Ken Harrison to the left. Bull digs in. They're after him. Now he runs out of the pocket. Up to the 35, the far side, the 40, and in. Hits down at the 43-yard line. As he ran into Jack Ham, was pursued by Joe Green. By golly, Green was in a foot race with him from behind, and Ham set up the roadblock in front. And now Green slaps Ham on the back, and they nailed him at the 43-yard line, but he picked up 8 yards. That's the second time tonight that Bull has been trapped and got away.
Yes, Scott Bull is a rangy quarterback, 6'5". He's listed as 211 pounds, out of Arkansas. A third-year man.
Harrison to the right, Schumann to the left as they alternate their wide receivers. They run out of the I formation, putting Paul Hofer at the top of the I. They pitch the ball to Hofer, running to the left, and he swings and is caught by Shell and thrown out of bounds at the 42.5-yard line. Donnie Shell caught him on the near side of the field and tossed him over the sideline. And that will bring up the third down play. Third down and about 3.5 yards to go.
And Warren Taves, who has played the 49ers outside game well tonight on that play, did not have the speed to match Hofer's burst. Hofer simply outran him to the sideline and had to be chased down by Donnie Shell.
San Francisco at its own 42.5. Got 2 men in the slot to the right side. Flag on the play. Here is Bull running to the right, and he is caught and thrown at the 42-yard line by Jack Lambert. Ran right into the arms of Lambert. Lauren Taves there to help out, but I believe the Steelers may have been offside. We'll get the signal, offside against Pittsburgh, and that will give San Francisco a first down. 49ers, fourth first down of the night. Steelers have 14 in the ball game. Takes the ball up to the 48-yard line, first down and 10.
We were unable to get our referees, Mike, hooked into our broadcast tonight, but Dwight White, as I saw it, was the man who made the early start and was offsides on the play. So, all right, the 49ers get another first down. They trail the Steelers 17-0, 3:35 left in the second quarter.
We had not reported him into the ball game, and he is in there.
Mm-hmm.
8-year veteran from East Texas State. Joey Dunn plays the right tackle position. The handoff, and Hofer makes it to the 50 and is stopped dead by Jack Lambert. Hole open, then it closed as Lambert plugged the gap, and Hofer comes down at the 50-yard line. Gain of about 2 yards, second down and 8 yards to go. Next Sunday afternoon, the Steelers and the Oilers from the Astrodome in Houston. That is a big football game. They're all big. This one's a big one tonight when you're driving for the playoffs. Wideouts both ways. Hofer and Farrell in the backfield. Here's Bull rolling right. Check. Stop. Now running. Stepping forward. Now he's hit. Knocked down by Dwight White. He turned and came back. And there was White to nail him. On the sack. Back at the 42.5-yard line, and Green was right alongside of him, but White hit him and smacked him down at the 43-yard line.
I'll tell you, he didn't know which way to go back here. He was a little confused. So he turns to his left. He says, I think I'll go left. And he takes one step to his left. And Dwight, the Mad Dog White, is there on the run. And bam! Bam went the Bull.
That's like hesitating at a train crossing, you know.
A Mad Dog met a Bull, and the Bull had no chance.
Dave's out, and Dungy in as an extra defensive back. Tony's plugged up right in the middle of the defensive line. Now he drops off. And Bull goes back to throw. Drills it. Is it caught? It is at the 43-yard line by Ken Harrison. And they rule that he's down. Ham was the coverage man on the play. And they rule that the pass is complete on a diving catch. First down, San Francisco at the Pittsburgh 42.
Yes, it was a good catch. It was thrown pretty well, too, because it was thrown low, and when you're throwing down the middle, those are tough to defend against. But it did require a nice catch by Harrison, and he made it. So the 49ers are into Steelers territory and perhaps up to something. The Steelers leading the 49ers 17-0 late in the second quarter with 2 minutes remaining, and we'll be right back. All right, the 49ers with first down at the Steelers 42. Franco Harris pacing back and forth in front of the bench. The problem seems to be with his right shoulder. He was taken out of the ball game during the Steelers' last touchdown drive. And I don't know why he's pacing back and forth like that. Pacing is not known as therapy for a jammed shoulder, but in any event, I hope it's nothing serious. The Steelers need him in Houston next Sunday.
Here they go, first down 10 with Bull back and looking, and Bull throwing out the near side, and it is broken up. And the flags go down. Late reaction. Lauren Taves over there to cover along with Lambert. Lambert went down, and Taves bumped the receiver. That was Paul Hofer, and they're going to rule interference.
Yes, I would suppose it would be on Taves. Lambert was coming up to defend in front of Hofer. Taves was covering him from behind. The pass thrown over to the left sideline. I don't know.
Taves bumped him.
Yeah, Taves. It would have to have been.
Lambert
Taves.
was reaching for the ball out in front. Taves reaching the other way, bumped him, so that is interference. They send Ken Harrison to the right, and you'll note Freddie Solomon's in the slot out there. The running backs are lined up in the I. Play action fake. Bull rolls right, stops, fires downfield. Incomplete. Possibly going for Ken Harrison down inside the 15. Hammond Johnson covering in the area. The pass is no good.
Or perhaps to the tight end, Paul Steele, who was being covered by a linebacker, I believe Jack Ham. And if it was to Steele, then it was badly overthrown. It was really hard to tell who he was throwing to because the ball was thrown to nobody.
They bring Dave Williams out. They had him in for that play. Sending Ken Harrison, a 6-footer, 3-year veteran from SMU, to the right, and Freddie Solomon, the speedsters, in the slot. Running backs are Hofer and Farrell. Bull is back, the rush is on, and he throws under pressure. Incomplete at the 18. Donnie Shell was a step behind Freddie Solomon on a crossover, and Solomon went up for it and could not hold it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that was the big six there, and Solomon did lead Shell by a step after taking a shot, and the ball was thrown a little high. He had a leap for it, but it was indeed catchable on his right shoulder, and so the crowd didn't like it. They're booing Scott Bull lightly so far, lightly at this point, and it's third down and 10 for the 49ers at the Steelers' 31-yard line.
5 years ago, we were here when John Brody played his last game against the Steelers.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Brody had heard the reaction of the crowd many times.
Did he ever?
Well, the Steelers have a 17-0 lead. And San Francisco has a 3rd and 10 at the Pittsburgh 31. And the clock reads a minute 44. Time is not a factor. So if you shut them off on this play, chances are you're going to have to look at a 4th down play, because I don't think a field goal from that distance is going to help them that much. An attempt.
No, it would be unlikely. I guess you're right about that, Jack. Gary Dunn into the Steelers' defensive line.
Now we got Bull back there. Has time, lots of time, firing to the far side on a little comeback on a loop out to the side. It is caught at the 14-yard line. Ron Johnson was unable to cover the receiver, tight end Paul Steele. Got away from him, and Steele looped to the outside and came back on the ball. Can't blame Johnson because the quarterback had all day.
Oh, they clapped the Steelers' pass rush, and my goodness, the guy could have written his autobiography before throwing the ball, and you just cannot defend against those receivers all night.
Minute 37 there at the 15-yard line. Scott Bull has the 49ers lined up. Now he's back there, and he lets it go into the end zone, and the receiver is down. Play covered carefully by the official. Harrison is appealing. Mel Blunt covering. The official watching the play says, no cigar. I think if you see in that end zone, there's a ridge that runs out there in the turf, and he may have just caught his toe in that and gone down. There's a line that goes directly across there.
Could be. Both wide receivers for the 49ers complaining to the official of interference, but he says, So it's 2nd down and 10 at the, just inside the Steelers' 15-yard line.
Here they come out of the huddle. Harrison and Schumann set out to the right. Schumann's in the slot. Now they bring Paul Hofer into a wingback position to the left. Bull is back. Now Bull is running, bumps into a teammate, and he throws over. L.C. Greenwood intercepted in the end zone by Jack Ham. And Greenwood was the man who did the job, because Scott Bull in scrambling, ran into one of his teammates, and then when he bumped loose, got ready to throw the ball, there was LC right up over him. With the arms extended, he threw it to Ham in the end zone for the interception, and the Steelers have it at the 20.
You betcha, and LC was a one-man rush there. The Steelers were laying back for the pass. Joe Green was ranging along the line of scrimmage with his hands up, and LC finally came up the middle, and he may have even deflected that ball. He gave Bull a clobbering as he got rid of it, and it was a nice interception falling like a shot quail into Jack Ham's hands.
Jack Ham's fans are here tonight. That Dobra Shonka?
Yeah.
Posters up. Hey, Franco's back. Here he comes running to the right, and he's chased out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Franco Harris is back in there. Picks up 8 yards, running to the right, and angles out of bounds on the near side of the field. Linebackers over to cover him. Joe Harris, Dan Buns, 2nd down 2 with 1:17. Playing the first half.
That, by the way, was the second interception by the Steelers. Ron Johnson picked off Bull's first throw of the ball game, and that led to a Steeler field goal. Now Jack Ham has come through.
Bradshaw sets them at the 28-yard line, drops back. Now he's firing to Franco, coming out of the backfield, ruled incomplete as Franco went down at the 35, catching it. Coming up to cover was Bob Jury, incomplete. The local radio broadcast, KSFO, in the booth to the left of us, has 4 people working and 10 people in the booth watching. Undoubtedly the most bizarre radio booth I've seen in some time. They've got a cast of thousands standing over there.
I'll tell you something. You weren't going to throw one of them out because he's Eddie DeBartolo Jr., who owns the ball club.
Nothing I'd like better than to do a broadcast and have that man in the booth with me. Well, we got Rocky Bleier in there, and give us to Harris, slashing off the left side, and he goes to the first down at the 31-yard line. And that will be Pittsburgh's 15th first down.
Rocky told me to remind Eddie DeBartolo, they both went to Notre Dame at the same time, that to come down to the locker room and see him after the game. My hunch is Rocky wants to sell him something. I mean, you would say it's a prime customer, huh?
Right.
A few $100 million, I guess.
Steelers call timeout with 1:04 remaining in the first half. Would like to call your attention to next Sunday's activity. We have a short work week in preparation for the Houston Oilers and a key game. The Oilers hold one of the 2 victories over the Steelers. That game on a Monday night just a while back. Ball game will start at 4 o'clock Pittsburgh time, and that means we'll be on the air at 3:30 Pittsburgh time, live from the Astrodome.
Time for a quiz. Who has more interceptions than any other linebacker now playing in the National Football League?
Jack Ham.
Jack Ham is right. He has intercepted his 25th a few moments ago to break a tie with Mike Curtis. He's got more than any guy playing linebacker in the NFL.
All right. Here's a quick screen out to the left to Stallworth. Stallworth runs away from the screen, coming back to the opposite side. Yes, Swann the block for him, breaks the tackle at the 30, the 35, and out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Penalty marker goes down. May have had an illegal formation. That was a different formation, to say the least. Stallworth did not pick up a screen. He came back in the opposite direction. Got a penalty pending against our side.
Bob Jury was chasing Stallworth across the field and caught up with him, but Stall gave him a smart stiff arm and knocked him down and kept going. Jury is playing against the guys he so much admired when he played for Pitt. I'm sure a lot of these guys were fellas he looked up to, Steeler players, and he's getting a first-hand experience with them tonight.
Illegal use of hands on offense takes it back to the 20-yard line. Stallworth to the left and Swann to the right. And this time we've got man in the slot to the left side, Sidney Thornton. Give to Franco. He's trying to get outside the left. He's trapped. Now he's going to run back to the right. And he's trapped again. Now running up the sideline and belted out on the far side at the 28-yard line.
He landed right on that right shoulder, and he is down. And they're helping him up by the Steeler coaches along the sideline. He hit hard, and this is Kansas Stone Park, as O.J. calls it. That's the shoulder they were working on before.
He's up on his feet, apparently okay.
Well, I'll tell you, he went a lot of directions on that play, did he not?
He sure did. Mosier and Thornton are both in there now, and second down, 12 and a half. Clock is stopped at 40 seconds. 17-0 in favor of Pittsburgh. Wide set in the backfield. Bradshaw giving the ball to Thornton. And Thornton gets over the 30 to the 31. He had Sam Davis pulling and blocking. They closed in on him. And right down at the bottom of the play, San Francisco 49ers had Archie Reese, who refused to be taken out of that. And they also have a player shaken up. That's going to be Cedric Hardman. So Hardman is in need of attention. And we get a timeout call.
And we've got Franco in with 60 yards on 12 carries. He needs just 9 more yards to become the 6th greatest rusher in National Football League history. With 9 more yards, he will pass Larry Zonka, who, of course, is still active and can keep tacking on yardage of his own, but is unlikely to keep pace with Franco. Zonka having a little rust on him, and the New York Giants not having quite the attack that the Steelers do. But there's Franco averaging 5 yards a carry. Rocky Bleier in with 29 yards on only 5 carries. That's better than 5 yards a carry, almost 6. So the Steelers have done both things so far in this ball game. They have thrown the football, taking advantage of San Francisco's pitiable secondary, and at the same time squeezed the oil into the running game that they are so intent upon getting into high gear for the Houston Oilers next week. They went back to fundamentals this past week in practice, and it sounds like a cliche, but usually when Chaz Noll has declared we shall go back to fundamentals, it has worked.
Willie McRae comes in at defensive end. Ed Gallagher comes out. Mark Nichols becomes an extra linebacker. They'll go into a 33 defense. Set up 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, pulling 1 up in between the end and the nose guard to the left side. Bradshaw on third, about 8.5, gives the ball to Thornton, running to the left. Good power, gets a block, cuts up over the 40, and is brought down at the 42. Steve Corson pulling and blocking on the play to carry to the far side. And Bob Jury up to make the tackle. The Steelers have picked up a first down, and the clock is running out.
And prior to the Corson block, there was a nice one by Rick Mosier, but that should do it, should it not?
That will do it. In the city beside the bay, we're at the end of the first half with the score. Pittsburgh 17, San Francisco nothing. Myron Cope will comment on the first half in a minute.
Now let's turn our attention to yesterday's NFL highlights. The place, Municipal Stadium, Cleveland, Ohio. The Los Angeles Rams, the visiting and highly favored team. But in the first quarter, it was 3-3. Cleveland's ball. First and goalie, LA 9. Brian Sipe. The handoff to Ozzie Newsome. Under end around, swinging left into the touchdown. Cleveland ahead 10-3. In the third quarter, it was Cleveland 17-9. The Browns ball. 3rd and 11 at the Rams 31. Brian Sipe with the hot hand all day. Getting beautiful protection. Back to pass. Throwing to number 33, the much-traveled Reggie Ruck in the end zone. Touchdown. Stripped of the ball by 48, Bill Simpson, but it's too late. The score counted. 24-9 Cleveland. In the fourth quarter, Cleveland was hanging on 24-12. They had the ball first and 10, their own 43. Watch Greg Pruitt go down that sideline. Youngblood 53 missed him. 42 Elmendorf missed him. 27 Pat Thomas missed him. And he's going to go all the way for a touchdown. There are stats on the day. So Cleveland went ahead 30-12. The kick was blocked. Let's look at that play again. There goes Pruitt. He gets a good block there to spring him loose. Now 53 Youngblood is over too late to get him. And Elmendorf has him, but he escapes Elmendorf. That's Pat Thomas, number 27. And then finally gets past Bill Simpson. What a run by Greg Pruitt as the Brownies won it 30-19. Since Cincinnati at Houston, the Astrodome, another big day for Earl Campbell. This is one of 2 runs we're about to show you as he was in the process of breaking the rookie rushing record set by Don Woods in 1974. His record was 1,162 yards. This was the very run on which Campbell broke the record. That brought him to 1,166. He wound up the day with an incredible 1,265 yards thus far. But Cincinnati was not to be beaten easily in the second quarter. The score was 10-7, Cincinnati in the lead. Pastorini back to pass. Fakes. You'll see the pump and the fake to Campbell. Then deep downfield in number 88, the former Jet, Rich Caster, touchdown, and Houston went on to win it 17-10. They're at 9-4 on the season. They're hot. The Jets at the Orange Bowl against Miami. Once they won the Super Bowl there against Baltimore. This was third quarter action. Miami had 6-3. Matt Robinson looking for his favorite target. There he is, Wesley Walker. The Comet-like speedster from the University of California. The play good for 42 yards. It set up a Darnell Powell touchdown. The Jets went ahead 10-6. On the very next series, the Jets still 10-6. Greasy back to pass. 2nd and 10. Miami's 20. The pass intended for 89, Nat Moore. But it's picked off by number 59, Bob Martin, and the linebacker goes downfield, returning it all the way to the Miami 3. That set up a Kevin Long touchdown, and the Jets were ahead 17-6 in the fourth quarter. Still 17-6, the Jets. Jets ball 1st and 10, the Dolphins 33. Matt Robinson again to number 85, Wesley Walker, the bomb for a touchdown, and the Jets went on to win it 24-13. Second time they've upset Miami this year.
What does it take to...
Green Bay at home to Minnesota. Critical game. The teams tied for first, Central Division, NFC. This is the fourth quarter. Green Bay ahead 10-3. The final drive. A 4th down pass by Tarkenton. And he hits Ricky Young, the NFL's leading pass receiver. That kept the drive alive. It came with 1:05 remaining. And then with 14 seconds left, Sir Francis throws again to Ahmad Rashad, who clings to the football over number 29 for the tying touchdown, McCoy. And so it was 10-10. They played overtime. It wound up that way. Seattle at Oakland, the place, the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. First quarter, the score was 0-0. The Raiders driving. Oakland ball 2nd and 7 to Seattle 12. Watch closely. Unaccountably, Stabler loses control of the ball. Seattle recovers. End of Oakland drive. On the very next series, the Oakland team found itself struggling to contain the great Seattle quarterback, Jim Zorn. Seattle's ball 2nd and 9 at the Oakland 38. There's Zorn, number 10. Deep downfield to number 83, Steve Rabel. Touchdown, Seattle ahead 7-0. In the fourth quarter, Oakland had struggled, taking a 10-7 lead. And Zorn going to work again. 1st and 10 at the Raider 27. He likes to throw to this fellow, number 80, Steve Largent, who's wide open in the end zone. Seattle ahead 14-10. Later in the fourth quarter, 14-10 still. Oakland ball, 1st and 10 at the Seattle 31. Stabler fake, then threw to the big tight end, Dave Gasper. Errol Mann missed the extra point, 16-14. Seattle got the ball with just 2:27 left, and Zorn took them downfield with throws like this one. That went to Sherman Smith, and this one again to number 80, Steve Largent. So they got into field goal range, and with less than 10 seconds remaining, 2nd and 10 at the Oakland 28. Efren Herrera with that kick. Good! And Seattle had again upset Oakland 17-16. Look what that did to the standings in the AFC West. Denver and Oakland tied. The two meet this Sunday night in a special Sunday night edition of NFL football. You'll see it right here on ABC, 9 o'clock Eastern Time.
San Francisco police tonight continue to question a suspect in connection with today's double murder at City Hall. San Francisco Mayor George Moscone was shot to death, apparently after an argument in his office with the killer. The suspect is former city supervisor Dan White, who surrendered to police a half hour later. Earlier this month, White, who is 32, resigned his seat on the Board of Supervisors, San Francisco City Council. But White later asked the mayor to reappoint him to his former post. Also killed was City Supervisor Harvey Milk. As officials probe for motive in the two killings, ABC's Ken Kashiwahara traced the events that stunned the Bay Area.
It happened here at City Hall, a political rivalry which turned violent only 30 minutes before Mayor Moscone was to announce a replacement for Dan White's old job.
Both Mayor Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk have been shot and killed.
White had gone in to see Mayor Moscone and apparently became enraged when the mayor refused to reappoint White to his old supervisor's job. White had resigned several weeks ago, saying supervisors weren't paid enough, but he later changed his mind and wanted his old job back, confident as late as last Friday that he would get it.
When I leave the studio here, I'm going right to the city attorney's office, and I am very confident that I will be reappointed to my job.
But Mayor Moscone had decided not to reappoint White, and after the mayor was shot, White ran down this corridor, wild-eyed according to one witness. He then burst into the supervisor's offices, went into his former office, called Harvey Milk in, and allegedly shot him. Milk was an avowed homosexual, and tonight San Francisco's gay district was in mourning. Milk was the first gay ever elected to the city's Board of Supervisors and actively campaigned for gay rights. George Moscone was mayor for 3 years. He was a liberal who supported programs for the poor, the disadvantaged, the elderly. In 1974, he announced his intention of running for governor, but later withdrew. Only last week, he attended the funeral for Congressman Leo Ryan, who was killed in Guyana. City Hall workers were stunned by today's events, but they were also wondering how Supervisor White got through the building's metal detecting device with a gun. Police said everyone is supposed to go through the device, but apparently White went around it. So the city must cope with yet another tragedy, and some residents are wondering what is happening to their city by the bay. It is a month that will not soon be forgotten.
This is the third time in recent days that San Francisco has been stunned by tragedy. First, there was the murder of Congressman Leo Ryan after his investigation of the People's Temple in Guyana. Then the mass suicide of more than 900 temple members, many from the San Francisco area. But nothing except bizarre coincidence connects last week's tragedies with today's. We'll be following up this story tomorrow on Good Morning America and later in the day on World News Tonight. I'm Max Robinson.
As we await the start of the second half in Candlestick Park here in San Francisco, with the Steelers leading the 49ers 17-0, a glance at the first half statistics shows the Steelers in with a crunching 249 yards in the first half to 91 for the 49ers. And that 249 is nicely split up between running and passing, 113 rushing and 136 throwing. We'll have the second half kickoff in a minute.
The 49ers will kick off to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers out in front, 17-0. Deep is Larry Anderson, a rookie from Louisiana Tech, flanked by Rick Moser and Jack Delapane. There is Anderson. Wersching hits it. Anderson from his 4-yard line. And flags are down all over the area, and Anderson is down at the 22.
I think that's 4 flags, 3 or 4. Everybody saw the same thing, I trust.
And as we usually see when the flags fall on the kickoff, it is clipping. And we have also received word that Franco Harris has re-injured a pinched nerve that he damaged in the first quarter. They are going to try, whatever that means, not to use him in the second half. Of course, they'd like to have him.
Clipping on the run back, number 25, first down.
Ray Oldham gets another call, recently acquired by the Steelers. But the word is that they would try to avoid using Franco Harris if they can. First and 10 Steelers, their own 11-yard line. Rick Moser stays in the lineup. He wears number 39, the rookie from Rhode Island. But this is Rocky Bleier, and Bleier goes down, corralled there by Willie McCray, who is filling in for an injured Cedric Hardman of the 49ers. Willie McCray, number 76, a rookie from Troy State. So the backfield now for the Steelers. Bradshaw, quarterback, number 12. Rocky Bleier, number 20. Rick Moser, number 39. Stallworth, 82. Lynn Swann, who's having a great night, number 88. The wide receivers, the tight end, number 84, Randy Grossman. The adjusted front four, the 49ers. Willie McCray, Ed Gallagher, Jim Webb, Archie Reese. 2 rookies in that front four, McCray and Reese. Second and 6. Rick Moser gets the call, and Rick Moser tries to put the ball ahead for a first down. I believe he It will be marked, however, about a foot short.
You see Ed Bradley, 54 there. He's one of the few veterans in the lineup. He's been around 7 years, linebacker. And as Frank said, McRae is filling in for Cedric Hardman, and you use the right verb form. He's filling in. You don't replace Cedric Hardman.
Kind of fun as we watch Rick Moser carry the football tonight, getting an opportunity to play. He came up the hard way, earned his spot out of Rhode Island by playing on the special teams, but it's fun to watch him. I watched him grow up, and here's the man he replaced. And, of course, he idolized this man while he was playing high school football in Scarsdale, and now here he is on the same team. Interesting trip.
That was true. That was telling like it is. It was cool.
Bleier gets the first down, moving out close to the 28-yard line. So Bleier, we anticipate, will get additional work with Franco Harris on the bench.
Well, they're starting the second half to where they started the game, busting through on the ground.
I think they really want to do this. I think what happened over the first part of the game, they couldn't run, and so he did go back to the air and threw 2 touchdown passes. I don't think he really wanted to throw that much.
Swann, top of your screen. Stallworth flanked to Bradshaw's left.
There's a hole over right guard.
Rick Moser turns it back inside, runs into Big Ed Gallagher.
I just got a strange report. Hartman has injured his hip twice, his shoulder twice, and they're going to try to keep him out of the game.
You mean tonight he's done that?
Yes, that's the word I just got. Interesting. And they're going to try to keep him out. McAfee, of course, with sprained ligaments in the knee, he definitely will not return.
Second down 8. Ball inside the 31-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're in the third quarter. The Steelers leading 17-0. Bleier gets the block from his rookie setback and moves it out to the 35-yard line. A gain of 5. It's going to be third down and 3.
Bob Jury came up, made a pretty good defensive tackle that time.
He got to come up with a lot of good defensive tackles after the way he played Lynn Swann with the double coverage on Lynn's last touchdown.
You think Lynn turned him around?
I know Lynn turned him around. And as Frank noted, all he had to do was work to the outside. I don't know what he was doing, turned to the inside.
Lynn forced him into a full Veronica, as Mr. Button would say. Third and 3. Moser coughs it up, and the 49ers have it. Well, Rick Moser fumbles the ball. The 49ers have recovered. They have good field position. They'll be inside the 38-yard line. Archie Reese was the man who was all over it, and he has been all over the field tonight. This rookie from Clemson will be back. The 49ers in good field position.
That's Donnie Shell.
We got 2 footballs out there now. Shell has one in the end zone. Our official has one back at the 36-yard line.
You don't want to get it in a league that's only got 1 ball. If you get in a 1-ball league, you're going to be out in a hurry.
One thing about Jim Tunney, he'll never lose his cool. He's a cool cat. Took his official over to him. Yeah, I'm listening. Tell me what it was. And
I think it's the Steelers' ball.
I think what he said, Frankie, was their ball, but they're going to down it right back to the end of recovery.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that. But Hofer coughed it up. Donnie Shell came up with it. There's Donnie Shell. He was all the way in the end zone.
All right.
That's Farrell leading. Banaszak will get in on the tackle. That's 76.
And Shell just takes it away from him.
I tell you, Shell played a great game a couple of weeks back on a Sunday night against the Rams.
Well, why didn't they let him go? Because he was never really down.
I don't believe they even saw it.
I don't think they did either.
Possession of the ball. Third down. Whistle was blown with San Francisco in possession of the ball.
Oh,
now they explain it. They said there was a whistle blown before Donnie Shell stripped the ball while Hofer was in the arms of Banaszak. The whistle apparently had blown.
And that's what you call when somebody has a scoop.
Judgment call.
I know.
Of course.
That's right. That's a scoop for you.
It'll be third down and 8. 49ers retain possession. Donnie Shell upset. Ducknell obviously not pleased.
Obviously.
The 49ers retain possession. Third down and 8. The ball at the 36-yard line of the Steelers. Oh, here it comes, the blitz.
Yeah, they got mad. Look out now.
Paul shell downfield. Interception.
Yeah, justice prevails, doesn't it?
How many times do I have to grab this ball?
Yeah, he said, I'm going to get it from somebody. It's going to be mine. Now, this time I'm going to take it to the house with me. I'm not going to give it back to nobody. They threw a blitz at him. You saw Jack Ham almost get there. Good move. Ball was not thrown that well. And we're going to come right back.
Did Donnie Shell. Second time around, they gave him credit for getting the football. He's the kind of player you love to watch. He's ubiquitous. He's all over the field. He hits like a linebacker. He just plays the game with enthusiasm and one of the best in the business at what he does.
And he gave the Steelers the football, 1st and 10, their own 24-yard line with that interception. Bradshaw immediately to the air, going to Stallworth. Stallworth took his eyes off that ball early.
He really did, didn't he? He moved his head, as a matter of fact, Frank.
Eddie Lewis was there, but Stallworth, who had to wait a moment, and a receiver sometimes when he runs his pattern has to wait for the ball, is particularly when it's well thrown, has a tendency to look around and see what kind of company he's got. Bradshaw says, I could have caught it for you. 2nd and 10. Terry's having himself a great year. A little slow the last couple of games, but you suspect that this is going to be the best year of his 9-year career. Rocky Bleier slips and down he goes, safe at second. Gets a yard out of it before he goes down. It's going to be 3rd down and 9. Steelers, of course, 10-2 on their season. The Houston Oilers, I would suspect, watching this game, are 9-4. And they have the Steelers coming to the Astrodome next Sunday.
I think somebody in Philadelphia was writing that ABC brought the blue pom-poms to the Astrodome last Monday night.
Well, if they didn't, it's a good idea. I'd take credit for it if I was ABC.
Interesting, though, isn't it?
I don't know.
Chet Forney was out here 2 days ago putting up these signs.
Yeah.
3rd down, 9. Bradshaw. Lots of time, and he looks outfield, and who does he find but Lynn Swann, who's having a runaway night tonight.
You know, my eyes were on Lynn Swann, and suddenly, right behind Lynn Swann in the same passing lane was John Stallworth. Well, but couldn't tell which one he intended it for.
Let's pause 5 seconds and allow our stations around the country identify themselves.
You're watching WTAE-TV, Channel 4 in Pittsburgh.
Lynn Swann from San Mateo, nearby San Mateo, California. Sierra High School has a lot of his classmates' family here tonight. He is putting on some show.
I think he was surprised to get that last pass, though, don't you, Frank?
On 1st and 10. Bradshaw gets as much as he can and then steps out of bounds, stopping the clock. Bradshaw moving out of bounds at about the 44-yard line.
I tell you, we've seen him from the first game he ever played, Terry Bradshaw. Remember? Done? The first Monday Night Football game ever done, preseason, against the Giants when he threw to Ronnie Shanklin for the first touchdown pass he ever threw.
No, you amaze me. I didn't remember that.
There's Kenny McAfee. Out for the night, out of uniform. Sprained ligaments in the knee. Thing about a player like McAfee is, despite the 11 defeats, he's never lost his enthusiasm, never lost his spirit.
Cleveland Elam is in, number 72 defensively, replacing Cedric Hartman, who was injured earlier. Bottom of your screen, there you can see his 2. 2nd down and 10. Rick Moser gets the call. This time he has both arms over that football. He coughed it up earlier, you might recall. Gets a yard and a half. It'll be 3rd down and 7, stopped by Jimmy Webb and Cleveland Elam.
Cleveland was quickly in on the play. Elam is a player with superstar ability, who for some reason this year has been bothered by nagging injuries, not of a serious nature, and also some feel that his spirit has been indifferent. That's why I suggested earlier he might be traded. A man of that caliber you can get an awful lot for if you want to trade him.
3rd and 7. 49ers this time stay in their 4-3, and somebody must have drawn them off because the middle of the line, Gallagher and Webb went simultaneously. Yes, that's the ball. We're not getting a pass rush in the 3-4, and Terry could sit back there and write a letter. Now they're trying to get the pass rush with the 4-3. No flag.
They took out a linebacker, brought an extra defensive back, and they pretty well covered it up.
Stallworth could not hold on This is Shulman, and it'll be marked out of bounds at the 20-yard line, just inside the 21. 7:50. 49ers, first and 10, their own 20-yard line. They still have that big 0 on the scoreboard. Bobby Farrell, and down David shoulder. Second down, 6. The ball just short of the 25-yard line. Scott Bull jumps it off out in the flat to Hofer. And Hofer breaks a tackle, but Taves makes the save. For losing 31-28 in the final seconds. Now battling the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bull hangs it up. Double coverage, however, deep downfield.
Boyd has just been recently cut.
Second down, 10. Oh, and Hofer is. Connell hangs it high. This is Jim Smith. And Smith there is first and 10.
About 20 years ago.
Ball at their own 23-yard line. Whoops. Randy Grossman lunges.
Know how advisable that is.
Neither do I.
First and 15. Rocky Bleier. Right side. And then second down. Bleier gets a block from Rick Moser. And
particularly the North Vietnamese. They said he'd never play again.
I'm going to leave that.
He almost picked it up.
That arrived at the 49ers only a couple of weeks ago. Copeland. It's another dandy kick. This is Jack Steptoe. And look at Steptoe.
Oh, he got him Steptoe.
Copeland, the punter, makes the save at the 37-yard line.
And it was really a fine, exciting run. That kid showed us something with that run. Jack Steptoe is another of the many rookies from Utah.
Cut by the Chicago Bears. He was picked up a couple of weeks ago when the 49ers were disenchanted with their wide receivers, and Steptoe high-steps it to a 49er first down, 37-yard line of the Steelers.
As he cut left from the center of the field toward the left sideline, I loved the way he kept his balance. Looked like he was going down, but no.
Came up. The problem is the 49ers can do nothing with the Steelers' defense. They've had good field position many times tonight. So they go with the work reverse. Solomon runs right into Lawrence Taves.
Oh, Lawrence saw that one coming, didn't he? He was going to follow it, and there he was.
You talk about reading a play. First place, the play was not well executed. It wasn't disguised by the quarterback.
But from the beginning, I think you could that Pittsburgh tipped that blitz. They were coming all the way. You saw him up in there. The experienced quarterback, okay, it won't always, it doesn't solve all the problems, but it does allow you sometimes to audible off a play. You want to save that play when things are just right.
Not against the blitz.
No, sir.
Steelers had it timed perfectly. Second down, 17. The ball at the 44-yard line. Bull gets away from Joe Green. Fires one of his flyers over Harrison.
You're going to get too much pressure if you go back and try to throw like everybody else does in that pattern and expect those young guys to beat Pittsburgh's experience or the defensive line. And they do blitz occasionally. If you roll out, it's a quick decision. You either got it or you haven't. If it's there, you throw it quickly, go back to the huddle, call another one. If it's not thrown out of bounds, you haven't lost anything.
Well, that's the whole problem with the San Francisco team. We've constantly emphasized it. The youth, 17 rookies on the squad. There is no substitute for experience.
Third down, 17. Harrison goes out to the left. He looks across the number 47, an awesome sight. All-pro Mel Blount. To the right is Freddie Solomon. Bull lofts it up for Paul Seal. And almost picked off by Tony Dungy.
Nice play by Dungy. He came off of his man, saw the ball after it was thrown. Kilo made a good effort, knocked it away.
3 white shirts surrounded Seal then.
Yeah. Well, he was not open. It was just it was a fairly simple pattern. He had a guy go deep and one guy go short.
I love that. He was not open.
Yeah, he was not open.
Mike Connell will punt. T-Bell, 83. Jim Smith, 86, deep for the Steelers. There they are. Probably should have been fair caught. And it wasn't, and it's down by Dave Williams inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. And this week on World News Tonight, ABC News features 2 investigative series. First, in a 3-part report, ABC News exposes insurance agents who rip off elderly Americans for more than $2 billion a year with insurance frauds. And in another series, ABC News does a close-up report on this week's federal safety hearings. Could this country's worst air disaster, the crash of PSA 182, and maybe others, have been avoided? Penetrating question. This week on World News Tonight, fast becoming the most watchable news on television. From the 3-yard line. Bobbled the ball. Rocky Bleier bobbled the football. The 49ers are saying they have it. And they do. They do. Number 76 is Willie McRae, the rookie from Troy State.
Well, we get some interest here. Pittsburgh, as Don said, sitting on its 17-0 lead.
It happened so many times, Howard. You know, you
things, and then that unaccountable upset yesterday.
Well, we got the Bears in San Diego next Monday. That's going to be a fun ball game.
49ers down 17-0. First and goal, 5-yard line. A Rocky Bleier fumble. Hofer. And Hofer runs into the linebacker. Number 53, that's Dennis. Second and goal. Hofer. And Hofer gets down to the 3-yard line. Dak Lambert will be at the bottom of that one.
And how upset you're going to be as the owner when they get down here and it's 3rd down and then it's 4th down and 1, they're going to kick a field goal.
I don't think the fans remember that side. Perhaps we can induce Mr. 40 to give us another quick glimpse of it.
Well, you are the owner. You're the owner. Frank is general manager, and I'm quarterback. Now, how upset are you going to be when we? What do you want to do when we get down there and kick a field?
As the owner, I'm going to sell the club and take the capital gain.
I can understand your side of it.
3rd and goal. Ball inside the 3-yard line. Hofer, and Hofer is drilled hard by the man we were talking about, Dennis Wilkstead.
He says, yeah, I got it, Dan. I got it. Hey.
Now we have that 4th down.
When he gets that kind of physical exhortation from Lambert, he's in danger of being hurt.
That was Lambert that got him first, and Dirk got him second.
Tough call here because 2 yards at the goal line against the Steelers is rough sledding. If you try to throw the ball, you are in danger of coming up with a touchback and giving the Steelers the ball at the 20-yard line. 4th down, goal to go. Hofer, touchdown. He did it on his own left side. He did.
All right. Yes, sir. You go for it, man. That's it. Go for it.
A happy Freddie O'Connor, for the moment at least. A new head coach of the 49ers. Every time we do a game with the 49ers, there's a new head coach.
And we could have one going here. Let's hope so.
They went on a quick count. No count at all. The Steelers were not set. That was a very heads-up call.
And old Dirk Winston that time got pushed back by a good block. He was in there the time before. That time they got him.
Worthing. And 49ers on the scoreboard, and they're not that far back. 17-7. A young team, much younger than the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they could get inspired. But I don't know how often the Steelers are going to fumble it down deep in their own territory. San Francisco trolley. Some of the symbolic.
I think every time that I've ever been to San Francisco, I've been here a lot. I came here in 1960 the first time. I've always ridden the trolley car. And last night was no exception. I had to get on it and ride it down there. It's just something about it goes with the city of San Francisco. Have a little fun. There's no city like it.
Little cable car.
That's the song, yeah. Now, what was it? What was the rest of it? You really got it, Coach. That's all there is to it.
There's Larry Anderson. He's deep. Randy Rudishin, we talked earlier. Terrible car accident a week ago last Friday. Out of intensive care in the hospital in Pittsburgh. And we're glad to hear that he is doing much better. And missed by the Steelers, a very popular young rookie from the University of Pittsburgh. Ray Wershing has the ball. Set up at the 35-yard line. Roberson at the 5. Go, and he slips, and he had an open field, but a flag is down also.
You had a quick glimpse a moment ago of Paul Hofer. Apparently suffered a cut inside the mouth and was being treated. 56 seconds left in the quarter.
Illegal use of hands against the Steelers. That will back them up.
Illegal use of the hands during the run back. 10 yards, first down.
So the Steelers will begin at their 15-yard line. You know, I bet Chuck Gold is just getting just a little bit nervous about this.
You can see it now.
His problem was he was smiling a while ago and lost total contact with the game.
Rocky, well, this is Rick Moser with Bleier out front blocking. Moser tries to put the ball ahead, and they bring it back to the 22-yard line. 50 pickup of 7 is second down and 3.
Their last 2 offensive series, they've done nothing, and indeed had the turnover that led to the San Francisco touchdown as you look at Moser. And don't forget, Franco Harris is not in there. Got a pinched nerve early in the game, came back after that, but then re-injured that nerve, and they don't want to use him unless they desperately have to.
Second and 3. Bradshaw. Swann coming back for it, and it had a little too much smoke on it, and it goes right through the Swann's hands.
I'll tell you, if Roberson, who was behind Swann, had come up with that football, we really would have had some excitement.
You bet. And it's now third down, and they may put it up in the air again. You never can tell.
49 there is Vern Roberson. He, of course, came over from Miami in that Delvin Williams trade. That was a great trade the way it turned out for Miami.
Don Chula giving up a first-round draft pick. Freddie Solomon, Roberson, a fifth-round draft pick. And he has a 1,000-yard rusher. Third and 3. Lynn Swann, this one he holds on for the first down out at the 44-yard line.
That was pretty.
Again against Roberson, and they have been giving him an education at the corner tonight. And that's the end of the third quarter. We'll take another look at it. Lynn Swann sprinting downfield. That drives Roberson back, turning it across, clearing linebackers. And Terry, in trouble, steps inside and fires. That's the end of the third quarter. The Steelers 17, the 49ers 7 will return for the fourth quarter in just a moment.
Blew one, that kid. He was juggling 3 basketballs, and he was about ready to get his own television series. But everything went when the ball hit the ground.
And at the end of the third quarter, Swann gets the first down with his 8th reception of the night. The Steelers have the football, their own 44-yard line. This is Rick Moser, the rookie from Rhode Island. And Rick Moser pounds into the 49ers at the 49-yard line and then carries them forward to the 49-yard line of the 49ers.
An excellent second effort. Hit by a tackler, he brushed it off, went on for additional yardage. You can tell he's a friend of Frank Gifford's son.
Yeah, he used to come over and hang around the house, watch a little TV.
Old Frank Gifford movies.
Yeah, he saw a few of those, too. Second down and 2. 8-yard pickup by Moser. Gets the call again. Same play, left side. And this time, a good defensive play. Ed Bradley there.
Swanee has caught 8 passes tonight, 2 for touchdowns. That's the most he's ever caught in one game in his whole career. With those 8 catches, he's now tied with the Seahawks, Steve Largent, for most receptions in the league.
For outside receivers.
You know, my farm back in Elephant, Pennsylvania.
Receivers, that's correct.
And a farm back in Elephant, Pennsylvania. Steve Largent's folks live in our farm back in Elephant, Pennsylvania.
Really?
Did you know that?
No.
That's true.
Rented it to them.
Yep, rented it to them.
Oh, they're such nice people,
I
too.
think they got to enjoy that.
Third down, 2. Short yardage. They give it to Bleier, and Bleier gets a first down and then drops the ball. 49ers are saying, we have it.
Yes. Now let's get it going.
Bleier, his second fumble of the night.
Yes, they have it.
Robertson comes up with it.
Yeah, I put nothing beyond the pale of possibility, and this is not a height. I never dreamed that Baltimore, in the third game of the season, could score 27 points in the final period and beat New England, but they did in that great night by Joe Washington. Maybe something will happen here. We'll be back. He's had to laugh tonight, Frank. He recovered the fumble. The
Steelers have now fumbled 4 times, lost 3 of those. Rocky Bleier has lost 2. Rocky had made the 6 on a good run. It was tough yardage, but they were coming fast and furious, and they knocked the ball loose.
First down 10 at the 47. Back goes Bull, flips it out into the left flat, completes the pass to Harrison. Here he comes over the 50, and he's in Steeler territory. Joe Green made the tackle at the 47.5-yard line. Ken Harrison. Quick shot to the flanker to the left.
Is that Bull's first completion in this half, or have I forgotten?
His second one.
Second one.
Harrison's second catch on the night. The 49ers are 5 of 18 with 3 interceptions. They've had 3 turnovers. The Steelers have now had 4. At the 47-yard line. Second down 4. Out of the eye. Here is Bull faking and rolling left. Firing and hitting his target, the tight end Paul Seal, at the 38-yard line. He's knocked down by Mike Wagner at the 37.5.
A snappy-looking play by Bull as he did the play-action thing to his running back coming up the middle, and then quickly rolled out to his left and threw on the run. He looked sharp on that play. The ball's at the Steelers 37. First down for the 49ers. They trail 17-7.
Seal has caught 3 tonight. He had only 14 on the season coming into this ball game. Again, they're in the eye. Handoff goes to Farrell, and Farrell hits down to about the 36-yard line. L.C. Greenwood and Jack Ham get the stop. The crowd thought the Steelers were offside on that play. There was movement. They pick up a yard, second down and 9.
Sure looks like Gary Dunn was across, but they're not calling it.
Mark it at the 36-yard line. The 49ers moving right to left. Lauren Taves off the field. Tony Dungy in as the extra defensive back. They're wide in both directions. They split the tight end a couple of steps, hand it off inside, and they plow into the middle. Little flurry of fists downfield. Farrell got short yardage with Joe Green stopping him at the 34. It's going to be third down and 6.5. Winston coming back on, and Taves coming back, and Dungy going off, and Dunn off, a 3-man rush now.
Ron Johnson a little hot down there, but the Steelers tell him, take it easy, Ron, take it easy. So it's third and 6.
Harrison to the left, Solomon to the right. Bull looking for Solomon. Throwing to him. Intercepted by Ham at the 25, up over the 30, and Ham goes down at the 31. Ham with his second interception of the night. Went up and caught that pass, which was zeroed in on Solomon, took it out of the air and brought it back to the 31-yard line, a 6-yard return.
Jack Ham's 26th interception of his career, and as I told you earlier in the game when he had picked off a pass, which was his 25th naturally, it made him the linebacker among all active linebackers who has the most pass interceptions in a career. So here he was with a nice leaping interception to pull the Steelers out of difficulty.
Got the 49ers back on defense again. Bradshaw with a play-action fake. Flips one right into the hands of Jury, who couldn't hold it at the 35-yard line. Threw it directly to Jury.
Well, no, he was really trying to hit Swann over on the sideline, 10 yards beyond Jury, but instead of lobbing it over him, he just tried to shave it close, and Jury got up there, and it looked like he was throwing it at him. But Swann was the intended receiver downfield.
Mike Balderson becomes an extra linebacker. Jimmy Webb comes off out of the defensive line. Second down 10. Bleier takes a wide position to the right, giving us 3 wide men. Single setback. They pitch it to him. Mosier running to the right, gets the blocking, cuts upfield over the 35, goes to the 37-yard line. He'll pick up about 6 yards on the carry. Mosier, the ball carrier, brought down by Joe Harris, the second-year linebacker.
That Mosier's running hard, isn't he?
Sure is. With Bleier set out there, they get some extra blocking for him. Joe Harris from Georgia Tech made the stop. Third down and about 4. Bradshaw's back. They chase him out of the pocket. They're going to get him. And down he goes inside the 20-yard line on a safety blitz. Bob Jury firing in there to get Terry Bradshaw back behind the 20-yard line. They will mark it at the 19-yard line. The second time he's been sacked tonight.
Well, he had no chance. They were coming, and Jury was upon him, so Colquitt will now, for the second time tonight, be punting.
Colquitt standing back at his own 7. Jack Steptoe is the deep man for San Francisco. Colquitt has time, and he gets a lot of foot into it. To the far side, kicks it away from him, and sends it out of bounds at the 36-yard line. A 44-yard punt with no return. Steelers football continues after this timeout.
Well, I told you that a little while ago that Colquitt almost always is under orders to try to angle that ball, at least somewhat. He doesn't always succeed, but that time he succeeded beautifully, kicking a 45-yard punt that went out of bounds, no return.
Scott Bull, the quarterback for the 49ers. Bull rolling to the right, throwing on the move, and it is incomplete. Bob Farrell. That was an odd call, and I guess the ruling he did not have possession when he went out of bounds.
I thought he did.
Looked like he did, but
I don't know.
He didn't. Ham covering on the play.
Must have been juggling the football. Maybe that's what the linesman thought when he rolled on the play.
49ers have thrown 21, completed 6, and had 4 intercepted. Now they move it back into the close slot on the left side. Bull. Out to the left, the screen pass to Farrell. Farrell over the 35 up to the 40-yard line. Lost the football, toppled out of bounds. Lauren Taves made the tackle. So the screen picks up short yardage. Third down, 6.5 yards to go. 22 passes thrown, 7 completed. Farrell getting his first reception of the night. 9:11 to play. 17-7 Pittsburgh. Lauren Taves out of the ball game. Tony Dungy in as the 5th defensive back. Third down, 6. Bull back there. Here comes LC. Joe Green now has got him, and down he goes. LC coming in wide, and then Green penetrating straight in at him and got him back at the 28-yard line for the second sack of the night for the Steelers. And that will help.
Yes, LC looping around Joe Green and chasing Bull out of that pocket, chasing him actually into Joe's hands. Joe, of course, also was coming. So that's a nice sack. And the 49ers will have to punt.
Connell standing back at his own 14-yard line. Snap to Mike Connell. Gets away an end-over-end wobbly kick. Smitty takes it at the 35, the 40, the 45, angles right. Almost got loose, but he slammed down at the 49-yard line as he was caught and brought down by Bruce Elia. 37-yard punt. Return to the 49-yard line. We'll be right back.
Joe Green sacking of quarterback Scott Bull on that last series of San Francisco Dons gives the Steelers 33 sacks for the season, and that is one more than they had all last season. And an interesting thing is that 15 of those 33 sacks have been by linebackers and defensive backs, so the Steelers have been putting more variation into their sacking.
Bradshaw calling the signals for the Steelers. Handing it off to Thornton, and Thornton plowing straight ahead down to the 48-yard line. Willie McCray at the bottom of the play for the 49ers. Rookie from Troy State. Gain of about 3 yards. Second down, 7.
The Steeler offensive line blocked well for Sidney, but he tiptoed in there. He didn't hit in there. Who do you think he is, Franco?
They've gone to a 33 defense now. And that is Thornton again, straight down over the 45 to the 43-yard line. Right down at the base of that play, Mark Nichols. Now he comes off the field, and they bring back Ed Gallagher, regular defensive lineman, and it's going to be 3rd down and 1.
That's the way Sidney can run.
Swann and Stallworth out. We have Cope, Davis, Webster. Corson's been playing for Mullins, who has an injury, and Penny. Handoff is to Mosier, off the left side. He's trying to break a tackle. He's down to the 35. Did he lose the football again?
Yes, and fell right on it, even with the man bringing him down. He fumbled that ball. Ouch. These guys got the butterfingers tonight. I gotta show that as the 5th fumble. They've lost 3 of them.
Yeah, Mosier lost it and then fell right on it, fortunately. Just inside the 35-yard line. The give is to Mosier, and he hits up the middle, down across the 30 onto the 28. Dan Buns, the middle linebacker, got the grab on him. Mosier has run real well tonight. He's had a little trouble holding on to the football. Has run with authority. 2nd down and 3. 12 carries, 59 yards for the rookie from Rhode Island. At the 28-yard line, Bradshaw pitches it out to the right side, and Mosier swings down to the 25-yard line. He is just short of a 1st down. Tackle picked up by Joe Harris, the left side linebacker, and Pittsburgh has 3rd and a half yard. Bleier coming back, and here comes Ted Peterson on, and the Steelers will go to 2 tight ends. The wideouts, Stallworth and Swann, go off the field. 3rd down and about a foot. Clock turning down to 5:33. Grossman tight right and Peterson tight left, and Thornton is the wingback to the right side. And they give the ball to Mosier, and he plows in there, and he crosses the 25, and he should have the 1st down at the 24.5-yard line. May require a measurement as the ball is uncovered. 49ers bunched up to stop Rick Mosier. They still have not revealed exactly where they're locating the football, and the sticks are already out there. Oh, they put it all the way back. It's not going to make it. They've got it all the way back to the 25-yard line. No way. It's going to be 4th down and about the length of the football to go. He appeared to have it for sure. Interesting that the linesman on the far side had marked. He was holding his foot down almost to the 24-yard line.
Hey.
Very interesting call.
You can see the guy lean in for the 1st down easy. It was tough running, but he had it.
Now they bunch their defense. Again, we've got the 2 tight ends, Grossman and Peterson. And Bradshaw goes up in the air, and he's thrown back. Now they've got it marked far enough. Now let's see if they're going to... Now the official had a mark, walks away. They set the ball down at the 24.5. This may be it. They were ready for that one. Half the length of the football, they've got it. 1st down. That call might have been as bad as the previous one.
I was worried on this one, and he didn't make it, but they set that ball very nicely.
Mosier appeared to have it by at least a half yard, and Bradshaw appeared to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. All right, 1st down 10, the 24.5-yard line in San Francisco territory. The Steelers with the football. And Bradshaw rolling out to the left. He's to the 20, and he is brought down near the 15-yard line. Bradshaw crossing them up, rolling out to the left side, and corralled over there by Willie McCray. Marking that one back to about the 16.5-yard line.
Willie gave Bradshaw a little extra something, I think, and Bradshaw pushed him on his shoulder and said, "Get out of here, you big lug. You have to do that. And nonetheless made a nice gain of 8 yards on the play, faking the handoff and rolling out to the left. But do we need him risking life and limb in this kind of ball game? Is he hurt? Luke Craig tells me Bradshaw is hurt. I didn't see that.
Mike Kruzik comes on.
Good.
So Bradshaw is shaken up as he got toppled on that play. He's up on his feet over there getting attention from the trainers and the doctors. Mike Kruzik, third-year man from Boston College.
You know, if indeed Franco merely has a pinched nerve, that's not a serious thing. It just requires time. And he could be in here, I suppose, if it were necessary. But we don't want to lose Bradshaw.
All right, Kruzik at the 16.5-yard line. Hands it off to Thornton, slanting off the left side over the 15, and he goes down to the 11-yard line, where he is brought down by Chuck Brisk. On a slant to the left side, Sidney Thornton, the ball carrier, takes it down to the 11 for a first down. That is number 21 for the Steelers. Bradshaw's coming back. In the meantime, Mark Nichols comes off the field, and back comes Ed Gallagher, the 7-year veteran defensive tackle from UCLA. First down 10 at the San Francisco 11-yard line. Steelers leading 17-7. We have 3 minutes left on a turning clock. Swann right, Stallworth left. Both of them getting almost head-to-head coverage. Bradshaw hands it off inside, and Thornton is nailed on a crossbuck. San Francisco defense ready and waiting. Right up the middle, Joe Harris, Archie Reese, Dan Bunn. A half-yard loss on the play. Second down, 10.5 yards to go at the 11.5-yard line. Webb comes off. The extra linebacker is in. Steelers on the second down play. Bradshaw is back, looking, throwing, and there's his man, Stallworth, putting the move on the cornerback, Eddie Lewis, on the far side of the end zone to take the pass, going down and over to the sideline in the end zone, and Johnny Stallworth makes the catch for the touchdown. That is Stall's second reception of the night. And Stallworth gets the TD on the pass from Terry Bradshaw. Play covering 11 yards. They went 51 yards in 11 plays. Roy Girella will attempt the point after. Greg Cope with the holder at the 10-yard line. The snap, the ball is down. Girella kicks it. Wobbly but good. And the score is 24-7 in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the clock shows 2:10 to play. So in the fourth quarter, with 2:10 remaining, the Steelers cap off a 51-yard drive, 11 plays, 11-yard pass to Stallworth for the touchdown, and that makes it 24-7. Roy Girella preparing to tee up the football at the 35 to kick off to San Francisco, going deep with Paul Hofer, Greg Boykin to his right, and Dave Williams to his left. Girella has it ready to go. And he kicks it high. Coming down to Hofer at the 5, out over the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, and he goes down at the 28-yard line. Hofer on the return from the 5 to the 28, and Anderson gets the tackle. Larry Anderson makes the stop. They mark it at the 27.5-yard line. The 2-minute warning in the ball game. That brings us the automatic timeout down on the field with the Steelers leading 24-7. And Steelers football continues after this timeout. The made defensive changes. Fred Anderson, the rookie from Prairie View. Gary Dunn, second-year man from Miami. Tom Beasley, first-year man from Virginia Tech. And Dwight White, the veteran, in the defensive line. Robin Cole is in as a linebacker on the right side. Lambert in the middle and Ham on the left side. First down 10. Scott Bull drops back. Digs in. Flips it to his swing man coming out of the backfield on the left side of the 25, the 30, and up to the 35-yard line. And the receiver was Bob Farrell. And Farrell moves the ball to the 35-yard line with Jack Lambert making the tackle. 23 passes, 8 completed, and Farrell getting his second catch. Bull is back again. Bull going down fairly deep, almost intercepted by Ron Johnson at the Pittsburgh 47-yard line. As he missed his target, Freddie Solomon, over at the far side of the field, and Johnson had the interception but did not hold it. 24 passes tried, 8 completed, 4 intercepted. Another fine night for the Pittsburgh defense. The only touchdown came after a fumble at the 5. The defense stopped them at the 5 on the first play, stopped them at the 3 on the second, stopped them at the 2, and then they managed to get Hofer in, just barely. 3rd down 2. Scott Bull handing it off to Davey Williams, running to the right, makes his cut up over the 40 and goes to the 42-yard line for the first down. Dave Williams, the second-year running back from Colorado. The ball carrier on a sweep right with Donnie Shell making the stop. 1:14. And Bull is back again. Bull throwing to the sideline, and the pass taken over there by Bob Farrell. Breaks away from Donnie Shell and goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line, and they stop the clock. 25th pass. Farrell getting his 3rd catch out of 9 receptions for San Francisco. 2nd down 6 at the 45-yard line. 1:06 to play. The Steelers are up 24-7. Back to the line of scrimmage. Paul Seal is the tight end. Wide receivers both ways. Harrison to the left, Solomon to the right, and Bull back to try it again. They're after him. They got him, and he's in trouble. Gary Dunn gets the sack. Tom Beasley was in there shoulder to shoulder, but Dunn made the play. That is the 3rd sack of the San Francisco quarterback. Takes the ball back to the 34-yard line. So San Francisco looks at 3rd down and 17. With 1:01 to play in the ball game, and Bull lines them up as the clock starts to turn again. And Scott Bull is back. Flipping downfield to the 50-yard line. Caught by Solomon at the 50, knocked down at the Pittsburgh 47.5-yard line. Donnie Shell over there, Johnson over. All of them get up rather slowly, but they're okay. So it is a 1st down, and San Francisco calls timeout. That is the 12th 1st down for the 49ers. Believe it or not, that is Solomon's 1st catch. They've tried him several times tonight. On the season, Solomon is their top receiver with 29 catches, 390 yards coming into the ball game, and that is his 1st reception tonight. As he takes it to the Steeler 48-yard line. Donnie Shell comes out, shaken up on that play. And Tony Dungy comes on. Shell's okay, has his helmet off, walking around. So the Steelers have a 24-7 lead over the 49ers with 43 seconds remaining to play in the ball game. San Francisco has the football with 2 timeouts remaining at the Steeler 48-yard line. And Scott Bull has thrown 26 passes, completed 10 with 4 interceptions. Coming into the ball game, Bull had thrown 42 times, completing 19. It had 3 interceptions. So his interception total goes up to 7. And he now has thrown 68 passes and completed 29 of them on the season. Barry Bradshaw has given up 1 interception tonight to break out of that slump that had seen him have 9 over the first 10 games. And in the last 2 games, he had given up 7. Tonight, just 1. Scott Bull going to be caught again by Gary Dunn. Dunn overwhelmed him at the 41-yard line, driving through for the 4th sack of the night. Let's pause for station identification.
You're listening to Steeler Football 78 on WVAM-FM, Altoona, Country FM 100.
Marking at the 43, they're ready to go. Bull is back there. And he throws downfield off the fingertips of his tight end, Paul Seal, at the Pittsburgh 42-yard line with Mike Wagner over to cover. Pass is incomplete. 30 seconds remaining. 49ers play at New Orleans this Sunday. They have Tampa Bay here a week later and then finish out at Detroit. Steelers go to Houston, have Baltimore in Pittsburgh, and the final game of the season on the road at Denver. Third down now and 20 yards to go. Scott Bull firing downfield, intercepted Dungy at the 35, gets a block up over the 40, the 45, and a flag down as he comes out of bounds at the 49-yard line. And they're going to call Tom Beasley, I believe. Tony Dungy gets the interception. Steelers' fifth of the night on Scott Bull. And they're marking off 15 yards for a clip. Be charged to Tom Beasley. Takes the ball back to the 34-yard line. 18 seconds to go. San Francisco with 2 timeouts. So another superb game turned in by the defense. Mike Krusek is on to finish the game at quarterback for the Steelers. Cruz brings them out of the huddle. His running backs are Mosier and Thornton. Splits them in the backfield. Krusek hands it off to Sidney Thornton, running to the left. He's trapped. He's going to run back the other direction. Brought down back at the 28-yard line. Tackle made by Bob Jury. The clock turns down to 8 seconds. And I think San Francisco will let it run out because Pittsburgh has the ball and there's not too much point in fighting the clock with timeouts. It's all over here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. That's the end of the ball game. The final score, Pittsburgh 24, the 49ers 7. I'll be back with Steelers wrap-up in a minute. Well, the Steeler defense was superb. The offense ran as smoothly as a brand-new machine in the first half, building up a 17-0 lead. Sputtered often in the second half. Had a total of 4 turnovers on the night, but then got going in the final period to rack up the absolute clinching touchdown in the 24-7 victory. 22 first downs to 12 for the 49ers. Terry Bradshaw sacked twice through 20 passes, completed 13, 8 of them to Lynn Swann, 2 touchdown passes to Swann, 1 TD pass to Stallworth, and 1 interception. Scott Bull threw 28 while being sacked 4 times. 10 of them completed, 5 intercepted by Ron Johnson, by Jack Ham twice, by Donnie Shell, and by Tony Dungy. In the first quarter, the Steelers, after a Johnson interception at the San Francisco 47, drove to the 11. A penalty and a sack took them back to the 25. Girella kicked the 42-yard field goal. It was 3-0. Wershing then missed the 31-yard field goal for San Francisco. After that miss, the Steelers drove 80 yards in 10 plays, 6 passes in it, 3 to Swann, 1 to Franco, 1 to Stallworth, 1 to Grossman. They scored on the 23-yard touchdown pass to Swann. The point added 10-0. In the second period, with 4:41 to go, they drove 66 yards in 10 plays. Swann had a 10-yard reception, and they scored on a 25-yard pass to Swann, 17-0. In the third quarter, Bleier fumbled at the 5. It took them 3 plays. The first one, no gain. Second one to the 3. The third one to the 2. And then Hofer barely got into the end zone over the left side. It was 17-7. In the fourth quarter, Pittsburgh drove 51 yards, 11 plays, scoring on the 11-yard pass to Stallworth, the far side of the end zone. Went over and out, caught it. Roy Girella added the point. It was 24-7. Individual running figures tonight. Bleier, 11 carries, 54 yards. Thornton, 6 carries, 28 yards. Franco, 12 carries, 61 yards before they decided to pull him out in lieu of that pinched nerve in the shoulder. And Rick Moser, the rookie, 14 carries, 62 yards. Steelers had 5 fumbles, lost 3. Steelers penalized 102 yards on a total of 13 calls. San Francisco had 1 call against it for 5 yards. And the 49ers had no fumbles whatsoever in the ball game. Steelers are now assured of a playoff berth. Their record now moves to 11-2. San Francisco drops off to 1-12. And Pittsburgh goes into the short work week before the game at Houston next Sunday against the Oilers. The Oilers remain 2 games behind the Steelers in the AFC Central. We'll be on the air at 3:30 with that broadcast live from the Astrodome. Lou Crack working in the booth. Our producer, Tom Leslie. Our director, Tom Leslie. And on a fine night in San Francisco, a perfect night for football, the Steelers defeat the 49ers by a final count of 24-7.